All right. Let me see. Yes, we are
Yo,
live and we are back. It is Friday. Welcome to Onchain Music Cabal. I am Endodeca here with my friend GodCloud, and we are here talking about on-chain music. On-chain music matters with our end of the year recap. Shout out to our friend AttaBotty who had planned to join us today, but maybe next week we'll get to see him together. So here we are, and very excited to go over all of the big, exciting news that happened this year. I know personally, I'm in and out. I haven't been here every week. Just got back from Miami. I mean, it feels like I just got back. And very excited to share some of the new music drops I have and also to announce some really exciting music news. But before I get into any of that, let me pass over the mic to my co-host and friend, GodCloud.
yo, what's going on, everybody? It's GodCloud here, first finger drummer on the blockchain, pro wrestling commentator, ex or former UPW tag team champion, and just overall doer of everything extra. Hyped to be here, coming in hot off the heels of another successfully defended title as best dad in the fucking universe, because we threw down this fucking Christmas. So hell yeah, I'm hyped to be here, ready to get into these juicy topics. Let's go. I got lotion in my
Yes.
hands.
You got to stay moist. You got to stay moist, bro. Well, the first thing I'm really excited to share is if you've been following me for a while, you know that I'm a BMI songwriter. And here, this is like, I put this together to share. It's like my happiest news of the year. In late October 2025, the three largest performance right organizations in North America, that's ASCAP, BMI, and I don't know this one, SOCAN, SOCAN. This must be Canada, right? Publicly
Okay.
aligned. Is this right? Have you heard of SOCAN?
No, I haven't, but
Okay, I'm gonna
yeah,
have to check that out. It sounds like it might be Canada, but
yeah,
ASCAP
that's what I was just
BMI,
saying. Yeah, that
right?
with
ASCAP
that's
BMI and SOCAN publicly aligned on a new AI registration policy. That they will now accept and register musical works that were partially generated by AI, so long as there is meaningful human creative input. This is great. Fully AI generated works are still excluded from royalty registration. This is a shift for songwriters experimenting with AI tools like myself, because partial AI composition can now earn performance royalties and official recognition from these societies. And I've got to say, I am so, so pleased. I have been a songwriter since before I even graduated high school. I've been writing songs my whole life, but doing it professionally for a very long time. And when I started using AI tools, I got so excited because it really helped me scale my songwriting. I actually have talent. I actually have stories that I want to tell. So for me, creating a music piece completely from AI is not really going to satisfy like my desires as a creator, but I love using AI tools to scale my songwriting. So I don't have to come up with every bass line, every riff, every little thing. It's just been such a joy. So just imagine like my heartbreak when I had all this big, nice, juicy catalog of songs that I created, and I rushed to go register with BMI, and then it was like, no, no, you don't want it. And so I looked at that, and it felt like I ran into a brick wall, and I said, you know what? This is exactly what I said. I said, they'll change their mind, and they did. So I'm so excited. So what this means in practical terms is that creators can integrate AI into the composition process. So like idea generation, production elements, without losing eligibility for official registration. This is huge. Royalties will flow the same for, it's going to be the same royalty situation. And PROs are publicly stating that AI training on copyrighted catalogs without permission is not fair use, supporting stronger IP protections. And again, this is something I also support. I would never try to copy another person's work. I know there's this very famous artist, music producer who many of have been growing up listening to, who we just, a lot of us just really like this person. And they really shocked me on a live stream one day, putting another artist's music into Suno and making a track. That is absolutely not how we do this. Don't even play like that. Just don't. That ain't the way. You know, it's a bad look for all of us. It makes everyone look bad. And the worst part about it is if it comes out and it's fire, you know, why do that to yourself? You know what I'm saying? Don't even give yourself any kind of odd temptation, right? So that's legislative and structural news, not pop culture noise. But I feel like that is something that's like really, really important. So what are your thoughts around that, GodCloud?
Yeah, you know, and it's well, I got a couple questions. So
Yeah.
when you were trying to register the tracks, like did something pop up saying like in the fine print and the legal saying like, hey, no AI, or did you like go to, you know, like upload and it was like, oh, we detect AI? Like like, how did
That would
like
be so, that would have hurt that would have felt like a slap in my face. No, you know what it was is, if I remember correctly, so I went on the BMI website, and when I
huh?
went to the part where I register my music, there was like
Yeah.
a site-wide banner across the top,
Oh,
and
okay.
it might have linked to an article or something like that, or maybe when I
Huh.
went on the main page had a big article, but when I went on the website, there was a big article right there for me to read that let me know about the situation.
Huh.
It
Okay. All
wasn't
right.
it
Well,
it wasn't it wasn't a blocker. It wasn't a blocker like, It wasn't.
yeah, that's because I'm like, how did it know? Or are you just super ethical that you were like, you
I'm
know,
super
like, all right,
ethical.
yeah, but
I'm
okay,
super
all right.
ethical. And the other thing is this, like, let me just like remind you, for any of our friends who have not yet joined a PRO, for any of our friends who have not yet begun your professional songwriting music journey in earnest, and you haven't yet started registering your songs, you don't actually upload the song. What you're really doing is you're documenting all the metadata. So you have to say the length of the song and all these other things, but the actual song itself is never uploaded in this process, at least at this time.
Right. Yeah, that's why I was like, wait a minute, like,
How did they
what?
know?
Yeah, I'm like, wait, what's going on here? But yeah, so basically all of that is that makes me feel good to hear a lot of that stuff because I think you tagged me in something uh where what's that guy's name? Or you know, it's not important his name, but it was going on about the about like if like band versus DJ is the same thing as the like
Oh, I
AI.
know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah. You know what? I didn't. I know what you're talking about. Let me clear that up for our friends. So I know what you're talking about. Is there is an artist in this space who I absolutely adore. His name is Vesa, Art by Vesa, and um, he also puts art on Bitcoin. So we have a lot of like. Usually our conversations are about visual art because he is a visual artist. I do not know him as a musician, um, and
Okay.
so and so the conversation was a funny conversation, and I had to duck out of it because I don't like involving myself in conversations about music with people who don't make music. And the reason why is because the question that started off the whole conversation was packed with assumptions that aren't true. And I don't like to start off a conversation with my elbows out. Like, well, first of all,
Yeah, right. Hacking through that jungle.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and the
Yeah.
conversation was like, the conversation was, when people don't make music themselves and they don't use the tools themselves, the perception of what's being done is often not aligned with how we actually create. And the
Right.
comment,
Yeah.
yeah, and the comment was something like AI music being to music what DJs were to music when DJs were using samples, and isn't it the same, and so on. I know you got in there. So what were your thoughts? What are your insights?
Yeah, and I, you know, and I kind of and this is where like I struggle with the arguments on Twitter because I'm not verified, so I can't really like I can't do the responses that I want, so I have to like send a video or some shit, you know.
Oh, the
And even
videos are
still,
fire.
yeah, and I'm like shit, like all right, cool, let me send the video, but I get it because people always think like, oh, you're sampling, you're just doing, you know, whatever, and I can respect that sampling is difficult. It's not easy to do. You know what I'm saying? It's not like and again, I think that it's kind of similar, but it's not similar in the aspect that it's easy. That okay, this person took a loop, or they chopped the sample, and now, because I think the example dude gave was Ice Ice Baby, right? And saying like, yeah, the bass line's the same with no alterations. And it's like, motherfucker, you're not about to sit here and tell me that Under Pressure and Ice Ice Baby are the same fucking song. Just because they took that one piece that's unadulterated, okay, I'll give you that. But these are two completely different fucking works. These are two completely different fucking songs. And that's what, when I see people using AI stuff to make something, you know, whatever they're grabbing is going through the ringer. It's not, and even if it is just plopped in wherever, there's,
What do you
I'm
mean?
sure
What do
there's
you mean if it's plopped in? What do you mean?
So listen. Okay, I'll give myself as an example. As I did this the other day, right?
Okay.
I found this record, right? Did I ever tell you about the church record that I found? No? Okay, so listen. Back in like the 60s and 50s, right? If you had like a banging church, like if you had that good Lord, you know what I'm saying? Like you'd want people to come back, so you'd give them souvenir records of like the choir and the church band or whatever, right? And
no, I didn't know any of this, but this is hot. I love this.
It's a whole like
a
thing.
45?
No, I got a 12-inch. I got like a fucking LP. Like I think I have it like right in the closet. I don't want to get up and start tearing shit up looking for it. It might be under some things, but yeah, just there was this house, the street over, getting gutted, you know, and you can kind of tell that there was like an older family living there. So you can see the furniture that was kind of on the side of the street, and a pile of records, just a fucking pile of records, right? And I'm always checking out what's in the pile of records, you know, and you know, you see some stuff. And this is no disrespect to any of these bands or anything, but you know, you can find like Led Zeppelin or AC/DC online. You can get that stuff and source it better from just ripping it off of YouTube if you want to do that, right? Mm-hmm. And generally people like listen to those records, so they're gonna be worn, especially if they're older ones. You know what I'm saying? Or they're warped or whatever. So I'm like, you know, like, okay, we got Van Halen, we got Led Zeppelin, we got Kiss, and I'm like,
Oh, Kiss!
And I live in,
that's my favorite. Kiss is my first favorite band ever. That's
really?
That's the first record I ever begged my mom to buy, and that's the first.
No shit.
That's my first favorite band is Kiss. Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's my first concert. That was the first concert I went to. Also was Kiss. Yes.
No, I never really got into them. Like, I respect them because, you know, I was a big Marilyn Manson fan, and he always credited Kiss to being like one. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, I can respect that. But yeah, like I never really got into them. And now I can't stand that they're like that Gene is like they're cozying up to Trump. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah. That's a thing that happened a few weeks ago. Yeah. But I guess it was in the name of like protecting music rights or something or other. So,
all right. Well, I'll reserve my anguish.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, rifle through these records. It's like, you know, like big rock bands, whatever. It's like, okay, you find if anybody who's like dug through records, you find like that stuff all the time. You know what I mean? You're always finding like Kiss Alive 2. You know what I mean? Like Led Zeppelin, this, that, you know, Van Halen,
Lionel Richie, Michael Jackson, the one with the yellow vest.
Yeah, you're always finding these records, but I find this one, and I'm looking at it, and I live in upstate New York, and in Rochester, and there's also another town or city called Potsdam, which is up in this area. I don't know exactly which way it is, but I know Potsdam is in like New York. It's around the area, right? And this record says souvenir record from the Potsdam church, whatever, Potsdam Methodist Church, right? And I'm like, huh, really? And I look at it, and sure enough, you know, it's from like the early 60s. And I'm like, okay, moment of truth right here. Let's see how banged up this thing is. And mind you, I found it on the side of the road outside.
Yeah.
So I carefully pinch the edge, pull it out. It is pristine. It doesn't have a scratch or a nick on it. I'm like, okay, taking this home. So fast forward, I don't even have a record player here, but my buddy does. So I go to his studio, we sample the entire thing, and this is whatever I'm getting at to the plop, right? So this all is circling back to the plop. So I cut it up, like we sample it, and then the other day I was like, man, I haven't cut this up yet. So I sat there and I cut it up, and there was one section that I was like, damn, this shit's fucking fire. Like, it sounds dark. Like, I really like this part. And I could kind of hear like a drum beat to it and everything, you know? So I lined it up time-wise, got it to fit, plopped it in, and I built some other stuff around it. And I put a rap over it and everything too, you know? But you'd be hard-pressed to say, oh, you stole that from the James P. Ottenrith Potsdam Choir 1960, you know? And now this is the sample culture radiation that I was talking about when we were off stream, you know? So I know that if somebody stole my shit, like how I did, I'd be like, hey, the fuck, you know what I mean? But at the same time, the sampler and the producer in me is like, I dare you to figure out where the fuck I got that from. And that's like a thing in the culture. That's like a thing that's like kind of like a badge of honor, you know, even though I know it's like kind of sketchy or whatever. But I say all that to say, if you had AI make you something and it made you something and you take it unadulterated, maybe chopped a little something here, whatever there, put it in, let's say it makes you an 8-bar loop, put the 8-bar loop in, and then you build a bunch of stuff around it. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. Like that. And I feel like people think that, oh, you did that. You had AI make you something and you put it in there and you didn't mess in it. You didn't, change it at all, but they discredit all the other work that you've built around that, and that's when you get those comments like saying like, oh yeah, Vanilla Ice didn't change the bass line, so it's flat out, theft, when no, he built a whole other thing around it, So I hope that all those meandering stories made everything I say make sense.
Yes,
but
absolutely, absolutely. I mean,
and there was another thing you said too. Sorry. Real quick. I'm sorry. But you said that they, what did it say? Meaningful work or something was put in.
Meaningful. Yeah. Here, let me give you the exact, because that was the thing. It was meaningful human creative input.
Okay. Yeah. Boom. That's what I need. That's all I need. I need that.
That's what's up.
Yeah. And then then it's like, hey, do whatever the fuck you want. Like, but as long as you are, and just like you were saying, you got stories to tell, you got experiences you want to talk about. Any artist, any creator worth their salt, you can't just do that with ready-made or with completely created stuff. You can't.
That's right.
That's
right. And that's what is so and it's interesting because we can prompt and get these stories, but you still have to tell the stories. When you listen to my music, you're going to hear stuff that is personal to me. In my lyrics, when you listen, there's a song where I say, fucking big art scene, no frontin'. Why? Because I wrote that song talking about going to Beeple's party. Beeple is one of the most well-known artists right now of our time. And to be at his party, you're surrounded by your friends, all your artist friends. It's like a really big deal. So like, if you know a little bit about my life and you listen to my lyrics, you can't even think for a moment that I didn't write those songs because it's too personal to me.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what makes music good, is when there are those personal things in there, I feel. And I wouldn't get the satisfaction of singing it the way it feels so good when I sing it, because I'm talking about something personal that happened to me. So
yeah, no, and that's what I don't get about, you were talking about Mr. Mosley earlier. But maybe you didn't say his name. I'll say his name. I don't give a fuck. Like Timbaland when he pulled Homeboy's and again, like, it's such a strange culture because we have this thing called sample snitching, and I hate when somebody says,
oh wait, is it like this? The sample snitchers, they do the one album over here and they'd be like this, and then they'd be like,
oh Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah,
sample
yeah,
snitch.
yeah. And I'm like, hey, then you didn't do a good enough job. Then if you are mad that you got caught or somebody sample snitched on you, first off, dude, like pay respect. Like, listen, if anybody came to me and was like, yo, bro, you ripped off James P. Ottenrith and the Potsdam fucking choir, got you. I'll be like, fuck, you got me. Okay. You know, shit. Like just like when they were like, bro, we got your ass on the phone. Look. I'm like, ah, shit. What the fuck I'm gonna say? Nah, I don't. That wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
The fuck? You can try, but they're gonna be like, nah, bro. Like we got your ass on tape, dude. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah. So that then. So anyway, sorry. But like with if you're gonna do that and get caught, like, yo, don't hate the player, fucking hate the fucking game. And on the other side of that, it's like, how are you gonna make an AI artist and be like, oh, this is an AI? Who the fuck is listening to AI artists? Like, this shit ain't fucking real. If it's a vessel for, like, if somebody makes an avatar and they're like funneling stuff through an avatar or whatever, that's a whole other thing. But if you're like, oh yeah, I got this AI artist that I just kind of whipped up, I don't get the struggle. I don't get the connect. I can't connect to this.
That's right.
Like,
They don't
you know what I mean?
pay bills. They don't pay rent. They're not trying to get anything out of life. They don't have anything
Right.
to teach you. You know, it's interesting. I had a conversation with a good friend of mine. I won't say their name just right now. But I was talking with a good friend of mine, and they were telling me that they did this. They said, "Oh, they told me like 300 songs. It was a lot of songs with this AI artist they created." And I said, "And are you, I said, I hope it's a male AI artist." This is a male I was talking to. I said, I hope it's a male AI artist. I hope you're going to go perform these songs, right? And, and the response was, oh, no, they're not. It's not. These aren't songs I could perform. I'm like, what are you doing?
Right. Right. No, for real
Because
though. Like,
if you're writing songs for a woman to sing, then record the boy version. Then you cover it write the song, but cover it as yourself. Go perform that song. I think that this is the kind of AI music making that we don't want to see, is hundreds of songs written from not a perspective, like,
yeah.
So
Because I got one of my friends on Facebook. He keeps posting these like these AI granny rap battles, and it's not even like, and like when I see stuff like that, I try to, like, scroll past it. Like if it's like political AI shit, or if it's like, like rage bait AI shit, I try to scroll past it like as quick as I can, so I don't want to give it the impression. But one day I was just like, let me listen to this shit. Like, what is it saying? Because I can see people like putting laughing emojis on it and people reacting to this stuff. And I listened to it, and it's just the dumbest fucking shit. I'm like, what do y'all find entertaining about this?
Okay, when you say dumb, can you give us a couple of like bookmarks? This makes it dumb. X, X, and X. Or do you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Hold on. So, it first off, a rap battle, right? What do you get from a rap battle? It's two opponents who you trust have done some research on one another, and they about to drop some cool metaphors. They're about to do the stuff that makes rap battles cool, and what draws you in. Anyway, I've been watching a lot more rap battles than I usually do. I don't know. That's a whole other thing for another day. But
you've been watching the rap battles? Sorry, but you say you've been watching rap battles? What on?
Yeah.
You've been watching the Cameron rap battle?
You mean like the one with that he did with Omar Gooding, like that?
No, like, well, I guess we have to circle back to it. I want to know what rap battles you were watching, but we'll circle back. I'll write it in the notes.
Like I Battle and it like yeah, just you know, like the rap battles and stuff. What do they got? It's iBattle. Um, Not Smack. What's the other one? I'm blanking on the names of it. There's a lot of different rap battle leagues. I'm finding out, you know,
We're
and
gonna have to do an episode. How about doing an episode?
yeah, that's what I was saying. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Um, to do rap battle to talk about. Oh, hey, we got Otta up in here. But yeah, so
Yo,
the
yo,
things
yo.
that I found, or let's welcome Otta, and then I'm going to explain what I found dumb and stupid about these things.
Let me see if I get a camera on from my boy here. Okay. Hey, Ada, maybe he just needs a moment to get set up.
Yeah, I have my camera off for just right now because I just finished a workout. Looking a little after work.
Hey, that might get us some extra streams, bro. Got to flex on
Yeah.
cam, man.
Yeah, show us the sweat. Show us the sweat, Ada.
I'm kidding, bro. You
Ambrosia.
don't got it.
Yeah, GodCloud, pick it up,
brother.
AttaBotty. We're gonna clue you in. We're gonna catch you up.
Yeah.
Let's
So anyway, the AI rap battle, right? Then and so first off, the videos that I keep seeing, it only shows one side of the rap battle, which can be cool because then you got to go look for the rebuttal, right?
Okay.
But and this is stuff that I'm learning from me watching like rap battle clips, right? Like I've seen like the dude Solo where he was like, what'd he say? He was like, your mom ain't got no place to stay and you stay with her. Like, it's just like some shit. Like that's a bar, right? He was like, I turn your neighborhood into a graveyard with parking meters. Like, yo, right? Now you want to see what did the guy he said that to say back, right? Because like, damn, there's clearly more battle left. But when you got AI granny rap battling, there is no other side. It's just that clip. It's just this like 30 seconds of this AI granny that is like morphing in through every possible granny that you've ever seen, just saying stuff. You know, just saying stuff like, yo, I was frying chicken in the skillet and I had to kill it, you know, like that. And it's like, okay, like, and again, just like you were saying, it's like this AI thing. It's like you're not, it's just ones and zeros. It's like you're not paying bills. It's not all the essence that makes a rap battle, right? And it's just for these instances, right? Yeah, so when I see my homeboy sharing like all these AI grannies rap battle, it's like, bro, what the fuck is this? Like,
Bro, you're killing me right now, dude.
yeah.
What did he just say? He did it again? Like what?
Yo, yeah, my homeboy.
Graveyard by parking meters.
Yo, Solo is a monster. Look up Solo, the rap battle dude. He's a psychopath. Solo's crazy.
That's wild. Yeah, Ada. So Ada, welcome. You know, we kicked it off. We were talking about my favorite news of this year is that BMI, ASCAP, and SOCAN, which I believe is in Canada, have all announced that they are now accepting registration for AI collaborative song. So this is great news. And we were talking about that. And then we're moving into, I'm going to say like hot AI versus not hot AI, which is kind of like where you rolled into about, you know, what is a great use of AI and what's not a great use of AI. And, you know, the feeling that we've got so far, you know, is the standard should be that it needs to be personal and have all the earmarkers of the things that we love about music and rap music. It needs to be personal, etc. And a lot of AI music, meaning music that has been prompted with little to no meaningful human input. It sounds, but when you lean in a little closer, there's no substance.
Yeah, I see what you're saying for sure. And on top of that too, I feel like the thing with being able to register AI assisted or collaborative music, I think it was just a matter of time. There's no way. It's a very powerful tool, and I see it making a lot of people uneasy. But at the same time, I'm a sampler, so first and foremost. So when anybody who's into sample culture, I think it's a bit of a weird place to be where you're into that, but then against AI because it's to me one and the same, and I love the art of sampling. Someone can make a song that was a funk, a disco track, and then turn it into just super edgy hip hop, grungy shit. Like it's amazing, and that's a whole other art form, and it takes practice and time and all kinds of things. So, with AI, it's just another thing at the table. And again, I think that any criticisms of AI could be applied to even normal music creation, where it's like low effort type of things, where whether it be the lyrics or the type of beat, like if you have the same 4 bars playing like throughout the entire track, with no switch up or anything, the people are gonna maybe say something about that. So I think the AI is the same thing where you could have like what you were saying, just a boom instant prompt and then boom like the human input wasn't too much and then it'll just go on its own create something. But then there are people who go crazy with their prompts, have like pages and all kinds of edits, and then nonstop, and then they're really like dialing into detail, and where we could see like music production looking different, to the point where it's going to be a lot of text based. We're already seeing it with Adobe and how they're approaching Photoshop, where now there's text based systems that you can input all kinds of different things that you want to do, and I music's doing the same thing now with the sound design where you can have text to sound, and or where you can morph things, people who are doing the beatboxing and turning that all into a full on track and everything. It's just a whole new tool set, and the more we like figure out the things that we could do with it, because the way I see it too is that you know just get your hands on it, play with it a little bit, and to see where how you can utilize it. And there's probably something for everybody at some degree. I personally, just like with sample culture, I love sampling. So AI music is very fun to sample. You could sample clips that you used to have to get clearance for. Spanish songs. Freaking classic tracks, vintage tracks, all kinds of things that you can like recreate with it, sample it, turn it into whatever. So there's always that. And then on top of that, or yeah, so we're getting a lot more, you can dial in with your prompt a lot more. So I don't know. I just thought it was a matter of time. There's so many incentives to do it on a more corporate level too, and
Mm.
there's a exactly. There, I just did not see anybody. Maybe they might, take in consideration artist complaints, but I think, with things moving forward and having a way for it to move forward, they're going to find any which way because there's so many benefits on that level. But then it raises up a lot of things of like how to get
The
your hustle
cost.
on, your game on, in this situation, in this life. And I think that it's just, it's not as crazy as people might think, so I don't know. I know I went off a little tangent there, but I
I
think
love
it's
it.
honestly it's great news. It's another thing that we can utilize now. It's not something that like, oh, and I think as time goes on, and people using clever ways and doing themes of music that haven't been done before, yeah, people are going to definitely go for it. But yeah, there's people still hating on sampling though, so it's always going to be a thing.
And that is the conversation that we were also that was happening earlier this week. So you talked about sampling. AttaBotty, I don't know if you remember or if you ever met our friend Vesa, Art by Vesa, but he started a hot little topic on X earlier this week, and I tagged GodCloud and then I ducked out.
Oh, hey, don't Irish goodbye me
I
on
did.
Tik or
Hey,
Twitter
I'm
thread.
Scottish. I'm Scottish, so it's a Scottish goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah,
man.
it was but you know, I didn't mean not to circle back. I'm gonna circle back, don't worry. After this conversation, I'm gonna circle back. But Ada, let me you know what? I'm gonna go and tag you. I'm gonna tag you too, Ada.
Hey.
I'm gonna go in there and tag you. I'm good. So they can, because I want your perspective on now. GodCloud left a video. I think I might, when I respond, maybe I'll respond with a video too, because I think that's smart. I think we should do this from now on. We get into these little hot topics. Maybe we should do video responses, because your video response, bro, is everything. It was so dope. So AttaBotty, this
Nice.
is the topic. Yeah, you're gonna love this. So and when you see how Veza phrased it all, I'm sure the top of my head, there was just steam coming out the top. Because he was saying that like AI music, he was making a comparison to AI music and sampling, but it wasn't really a positive one. You know what I mean? It was more like, isn't this just as whack and just as disrespectable as sampling? Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I think plagiarism was the word.
I bet he comes
That
from the
Yeah.
hip hop world, right?
No, he comes from the not making music world.
yeah, which is crazy.
I think,
There you go.
yeah, I think
That sounds more like it too.
yeah, I think my friend does only visual art. I don't think he's a musician, and so you know, hey, look who
There
it is.
you
Yeah, I don't think he's a
Oh,
musician, so that's why I'm like, oh, don't use the p word.
she's waving at everybody. Say hi.
Hey, how you doing?
So cute, so cute. Hi, cutie. I just love
Baby got
watching her
cloud.
grow. Yeah,
I got like
It's
20 more
awesome.
minutes. Okay. I got you. Okay.
yeah, so cute.
No, it's very, very interesting. And that's where I even go in to say where people have a gripe against sampling. And to those people, I'm so sorry to tell you, almost everything you listen to in this world is sampled and sampled in some which way, whether it be a sampled instrument or a virtual instrument. There's nothing nowadays that doesn't have samples.
Unless you're listening to a
For
live performance coming right out of the
unless you're
instrument.
listening, but unless they're well, like,
Sample
what
from
if
my
it's
mind.
GodCloud's live performance? What about GodCloud's live performance? You know, bada bang. So, but
Yeah,
either way, I mean, I get it. You know, totally. If you have the drum set and everything live, instrumental, acoustic, right? Maybe you appreciate acoustic instrumentation a bit more, acoustic, performance. However, the odds are if you have a radio on, if you have a soundtrack on, if you're listening to the movies, if you're doing anything besides listening to a band right before your eyes, you're hearing samples. So it's just something that people maybe just don't realize, and then it breaks their bubble. But I guess those aren't at the end of the day, those aren't the people making music. They're not making the money. They're not also making the people move through music. So there's just like,
Yeah, and not buying it either.
uneducation.
This is Yeah, and I'm so rude too. I'm like, I'm concerned mostly with the opinions of people who are buying my music. If you're not buying my music, why do I care what you think?
fucking exactly. Amen to that. Yeah.
Boom.
And that, yeah. And I
I'm not
always
making
say,
music for country people,
right. But even still, it's like, if you aren't, if you ain't in it, you can't speak on it. And that ideology, I always felt like the whole, first off, and I said this too in that video, was that the band versus DJ thing always had like kind of a racist connotation to
Ooh, I
it to
never
me.
thought about it that way. What do you
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, dude, because I felt
Aren't
like it was all
They're really
kind
good.
of that, like, oh, well, black people are lazy and don't want to play instruments, so they're just ripping off shit from,
other black people?
what's that?
Other black
Yeah,
people.
yes, and even in all that, it's saying like, okay, yeah, y'all, because this is a common thing that I hear, and forgive me, I'm doing it, but in a lot of like white supremacist rhetoric and propaganda, it's always like, oh yeah, black people were doing so much better during these eras in which there was like segregation and all this shit. So think about it. You're gonna say like these black people are now lazy because they were ripping stuff from more talented black people back from these times. You know, it's that same energy to me anyway. That's how I always kind of took it. You know what I mean? And if you think about it, at the end of the day, a lot of those artists who were getting sampled from, they got cheated out of a lot of their rights. So when
they didn't have rights,
right? So think about it. When somebody is trying to get what's owed from the person who did the sampling, it's not that artist, it's the record company that ripped them off initially. Now, not only have they robbed the previous generation of black creators, but now they're taking from this new generation who's not doing it in a manner of theft. They're doing it because they're paying homage to that shit. Because growing up, that's you'd hear your mom playing that stuff while she was getting ready to go to work. You'd hear
I put a spell on you.
Yeah, like you hear that shit playing, like, you know, as growing up, you hear it. Just there's always music for everything. It's like, okay, there's Sunday cleaning music, there's Saturday breakfast music, you know what I mean? There's gotta get the kids to school music. At least me growing up, that's how it was, you know what I mean? And I can still hear a lot of these songs in my I know you like to listen to PJ Panda when you're getting ready. But yeah, it's all of that and all of that stuff, like I just listed, makes me feel like the whole producer versus DJ thing, when it comes up, has a racist connotation to it. So
where does the racist part come in? Because like I hear it like, yeah, where does the racist part come in? I'm not disagreeing. I'm just trying to get some clarity.
No. Okay. So
I want to be mad too.
Yeah, like no, I'll get you mad. You want to get mad? I got you. I'll get you mad. So again, what I think I might have, I don't know if I said this part too fast or whatever, but like, and this is from me. I don't want to say necessarily infiltrating, but studying white supremacist rhetoric and propaganda. The argument that they like to say is that black people were doing better under segregation. When black people had less rights is when we were doing better as a society or as a people, right? So when you start saying, because you remember you said like, oh, black people are ripping off other black people. Right.
Yeah. It's
so
soul,
the other
samples of soul music.
Right. So the argument that is usually put forth when arguing against sampling is that this new generation of black people isn't as talented as the one previous. You feel me? So it's that same connotation, like, yeah, black people were doing better when they had less rights or in the past. And it completely like ignores all the other advancements. Because think about it, like, I don't give a fuck what you say. Like, let's look at like Mozart, for example. Mozart never had to figure out how to work a goddamn compressor. He was good at piano, sure, but put Mozart in a fucking studio, we running laps around his ass, yo. He's gonna be like, wait a minute. Yo, Mozart don't know how to use auto-tune.
I gotta tell you honestly, look. I gotta say, he might have figured that shit out though.
He probably would, but
Mozart, Da Vinci, all those are the most brilliant people of their time. I would like to bring him back and just set him down in front of Presonus Studio One and show him all the controls and let him go.
But they would need some catching up. But I'm just saying, like, we have our own struggles and things that we've had to deal with and all that, and that should be taken into consideration and respected, and not saying like, oh, well, this generation was better when they were, working with when they were basically under oppression, because a lot of these artists were working under oppressive fucking conditions in these.
What do you mean were?
Well, I'm saying in that, and
they still are.
Sure, but I think we've got a bit more control now. We can either choose to go into that system or kind of not. The industry is still the industry, but we don't.
Yes, we don't have to play there. Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah. So that when I say that is what I mean when I say there's racist connotations in with the whole producer versus DJ thing, because it's the same formula of a particular type of white supremacist rhetoric.
That's just gaslighting. And that is gaslighting, though. That is gaslighting, because it's one of those things that's said but with no measurable proof. You know, what are the metrics that you're using to determine this was better than it is now? I mean, this is simple gaslighting. So, you know, I can't take comments like that seriously. It's one of the things where the steam comes out of the top of my head, because the initial statement or the initial question is so packed with assumptions and wrong things that you can't got to get your machete, can't even talk about the thing that they're trying to bring up, because they've packed it with stuff that doesn't belong there in the first place.
Right. Yeah. And,
Yeah.
oh, sorry.
I love that. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, I was just telling
Go
you.
for
I
it.
saw you on. Oh, yeah, go for it.
No, I just wanted to make the comment on the compressor part. I mean, like, yeah, I have all the faith in the world that those guys could have figured it out. But you know, put anybody, even people who feel very tech savvy and whatnot, put them in front of a Buchla and tell them to go at it with a modular synthesizer. They're gonna go. Yeah, it's because it's a whole other thing, and so many other types of sciences and things. Like, people dedicated, multiple generations have dedicated their lives to figuring out very specific things on different corners, and you know, the tentacles of music. And so, like, yeah, and then it goes to that same point, like, where people who are like, oh, this and sampling, it's like, well, one, you've never really done much sampling before. You don't have a sense of the art, what it takes to, one, be able to get the sample, track the sample, manipulate the sample, perform the sample, you know, how to put life behind the sample. This is an art form that, if you haven't caught up, it's gonna take you some time to catch up and realize, well, how these guys and how these gals are doing these things that, you know, that are really freaking cool. And it takes a lot of knowledge too. It's like, you might have a one-off thing that you did pretty good, but then, like, do it consistently and do all different ways that it can be spent around and twisted. So if you've spent time with samples, you'd realize you could dedicate your whole life to it. I mean, people have, like, you know, freaking there's like PhD level shit going on with that stuff, because it's really complicated. So, you know, like, you know, and I never heard it that way. And it makes a lot of sense, though, what you're saying, though, GodCloud, as far as, like, the whole, you know, the whole purist thing about, oh, that's not pure, this ain't pure, and if you don't do it like this, that's how the real people did it. And I appreciate that, like, that viewpoint, because it, you know, rings a lot of bells, you know, for as far as where people, when they made real music, you know, and
Yeah.
it's like, there's other connotations behind that, and it's just like, fuck, you know, like, and it's, I think it's also, you're highlighting something that maybe, like, really hidden in people's minds. They don't even know that they're saying it, but it's like a feeling that's being brought out through, like, thoughts like that. And it's just like, we're again, you know, hone in on any art form, and you'll find out why people spend their whole lifetime doing it, because there's so many unlimited things. It goes off into so many different realms. And you know, so it's like, you know, go back to the AI thing and the sampling and all of it. You know, it's just, these are art forms that take a long time, and there's a lot of things that you could do with it. And believe it or not, there's a skill that you can build that takes a long time for you to figure out how to work with all that stuff. And AI is going to be the same way. You know, people who aren't learning about the tools that you can do with it and all the different things that it allows, they're going to slow down. You know, they're not going to have access to those things. They're not going to be in the know of what's going to be hot. Especially if you think about this, like, what's not to say that AI driven characters are superstars, well, kind of take hold, you know, and take over. And I
No,
know that's everyone's worst nightmare, but it's like, at the same time, I'm not thinking it's going to take over, but you know, that it's like, for instance, in Japan, there's a text to speech or text to voice program, and it's used all the time for their EDM, all the time. And it's just like, if you don't know about that, you know, you're going to be behind in a lot of the style and how to get a lot of different things. So, you know, I don't know. But at the end of the day, it's your art. Do what you want. But the whole thing of argument of, that's not real art, this is, and that it's just like, we're going to be spinning our wheels instead of just making music, you know?
absolutely. Yeah, you know, I love that you mentioned that comment that people say that's not real art. And you know, anytime I hear people say that, whether they're talking about visual art or music, it only shows me that person is incredibly insecure and not very well educated. So if you've said that before, I'm talking about you. And I especially feel sorry for people who, yeah, and I especially feel sorry for people who say it to me. And I especially feel sorry for people who say that in public spaces, because everyone uses AI tools differently. And, you know, this is something that GodCloud and I were talking about too, I think just before you showed up, is I use AI music to scale my songwriting. I've been songwriting and performing since before AI. And this to me is like, it's great, but it's not the full extent of my talent. It's just something that I like, that I use. So it's really important that everyone, I feel, you know, remember that the tools do not define the artist. And Jenny Pepin of One Love DAO said something that I love. So let me give her flowers. She added to this and she says, AI tools do not define the artist, they reveal them.
Yeah, I can vibe with that. And you know what? Like to the oh, are you done? Are you? I don't want
Yes.
to cut you. Okay. So check this out, right? Like, and anybody who's used samples knows this, that you need a bit of an understanding of, and this could go for AI too, for whatever. Like, you need a bit of an understanding of music theory to properly use and manipulate samples. You know, like I can remember one of my aunts, her boyfriend, he got a little Dr. Rhythm, and he like sampled some stuff and was having a time. He's like, I can't get this thing to loop back right. He's like, I just can't do it. And I guess he had been working, and sometimes this shit like makes me like breaks my heart when somebody's been like working on trying to get a sample to loop right for 5 years, and it's like, damn, dude, you might want to do something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this has
5 years?
Like, yeah, bro's like, yo, I can't. I've been trying to. He's like, I know it'll be a hit and blah blah blah, and then he brings it to me, and this was years ago. This is when I had just really started working on Reason and shit. So, damn, this shit was almost like 20 years ago, you know. And I'm like, well, brother, I'm like, the way that this loops around is that, you know, kind of halfway through the 8th bar, they're picking up to go into the rest of like the intro's done, and they're kind of picking up to go into the next part. Like, so you're getting part of that pickup. That's why it's not looping around clean. You know what I mean? But dude didn't really understand like music theory enough to be like, oh damn, I need to count, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, then 7, 2, then 8, 2, 3, 4, then 1, then the thing loops around. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. People need to understand that. And no just average person with no understanding of that is gonna, or with who doesn't understand music theory to some degree, they're not gonna be able to pick up on this shit. Like, you can have AI make you something and then put it into some music and it's off key. You know, AI's not fixing that. Sampling isn't gonna fix the track if the rest of it's off key, you know. So it definitely takes knowledge and skill to successfully use these tools. So it's not just like a quick, you know, snap of the fingers and boom, now I got this thing that's just made this track dope for me. You know what I mean? And like back to the Vanilla Ice thing, if Vanilla Ice was rapping offbeat in that song, or the drums weren't the right fit, that Queen bass line wouldn't have carried that track. You know, it needed to be all together to make Ice Ice Baby be what it is. So yeah.
Absolutely. And that is why I don't like to get in kind of the conversations with people that don't make, because I'm not here to educate someone out of their wrong ideas about an art form that they don't truly engage in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like that's just kind of like a mental, it's an academic conversation about music. And I don't do academic conversations unless it's going to have like, you know, sometimes an academic conversation can like lead us to like some new discovery or something. But if I'm talking with someone and their main issue is I'm doing something or I'm engaging in an activity that they don't appreciate, don't understand, or aren't well educated on it, so they want to go back with me about what's wrong with it, I'm just not interested. It's like you want to waste my time arguing with you instead of me focusing on this music. I'm going to focus on this music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think also academic conversations are only fun when both people are educated, because the whole time you end up just having to educate them, and then they just have to take your word for it, and then the whole time you're just like, dude, just look it up, and then it just ends up devolving. And people, it's like, why would a physicist have a conversation with somebody who doesn't know anything about physics, and they're like making up terms, and they don't know what the ground vocabulary is for anything. So it's like, yeah, it's kind of pointless. I think that that's where you said there has to be another level on the other side. Otherwise it's kind of pointless. I mean, if people want to learn, that's one thing, but then at the same time, that's not the stimulating academic conversation
Yeah, not
that
for
we're
me.
talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, I think if people, but also like, coming from that perspective, I feel like when people want to learn, they lean in with different energy and different questions. Definitely. There's something, GodCloud, I know you have to take off in just a few here. There's something that you said that I wanted to bring up, and I hope that you will weigh in on it and give Ada a chance too before you spin off. But just casually, GodCloud said something earlier and it caught my attention, so I wrote it down in the notes. But God, you said Web3 streaming is counterproductive.
Oh, I did say that.
So, yeah, do you mind unpacking? Because
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's just there's easier ways to do to. So okay, so streaming, right? What is the purpose of streaming? It's to make it so the act of getting entertainment is essentially streamlined. And the big thing that they really don't kind of talk about is that you don't own any of, you're kind of renting everything, right? When you're streaming, you're just kind of renting access to whatever, right? And I'm not talking about like the act itself of just like streaming. And when I say streaming, I mean just like viewing content, because I mean you do that when you get an NFT, you still are taking in that content some sort of way. So I don't mean streaming in just the act of just taking in some content, I mean like streaming in the whole like industry of like how Netflix operates, how Hulu operates. Like you rent everything, you own nothing, and you pay like a little bit for it. And I feel that if we're going to try to do that in Web3, to try to put ownership on something that by its design isn't meant for you to own it, it just doesn't work, and there's going to be this clash. And like I was saying before when we were off cam, and this was funny because this is what I talked about at NFT NYC about the future of like Web3 streaming. And I'm like, I don't think that they, like, because what are you doing? Like, what do you mean by Web3 streaming? And again, I feel like it's coming from the artist point of view, where you just want to get, 1 ETH per stream instead of 0.003 cents. Now you want this other lucrative token. That's what you want to get paid. That's what I've always heard is the energy behind it, is the mindset, is what people are kind of hinting at. They don't really want to say that, and how the fuck are you gonna own something that again, you can't grab it, you know what I mean? Like you can't fucking, like, and when I say grab it, I mean you can't like or I guess you can download shit off Netflix, but it's still not the same. Like you now have that in your wallet forever, you dig? Because if the show goes off, like they took my fucking perfume show from me, and I'll never fucking forgive them for it, because now I gotta watch it on what's that, on what is that other thing, the other streaming, the other YouTube platform that I gotta watch it on in German. I don't even speak German, but that's a whole other fucking story. But yeah, so all those things to say, you can't make something do something that it wasn't meant to do in the first place. The entire ethos of streaming is that you don't own it, you rent it. And now we want to try to take the attributes of Web3 ownership and put it on it. And it just doesn't work for me. It just doesn't add up. But I'm curious if you guys think anything different. I'm here.
Yeah, so like just to clarify, so like when you say like streaming, we're talking about like on streaming music on chain,
I'm
or do
just saying like
you period?
anything. Like, okay, and to just a little caveat here as well. If you want the back end to be, like on chain or whatever, I guess like that can kind of work, but and I guess that comes down to the payouts, I guess. But again, I feel like people want blockchain backed payouts, not necessarily the streaming, not necessarily like the Web3 ethos pasted onto streaming. If that makes sense. Yeah, I think that's a more way to say what I'm trying to say here.
I think people do want Web3 ethos pasted onto streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, and I think that's just because we're just trying to like own something.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, okay. I think AttaBotty is coming back. Okay. AttaBotty will be back in just a sec. Yeah, I feel like people do want Web3 ethos attached to streaming. So have you checked out Pump Fun yet? It's it's an on-chain streaming platform. So I created a place there, and like to be honest with you, I don't know if it's going to be like lucrative. I don't know if it's gonna be the next wave. But what I do know is that YouTube, even though I have much love for YouTube, they have a lot of rules. And if I say something that they don't like, or you say something that they don't like, they're going to hide my video. There's an algo. There's like all these things that happen. And when you have like on-chain streaming, you don't have to be privy to those kinds of rules. And I think that's why we want that, is because I think for a lot of people, on-chain means we own it. And it means like, that we can do what we want and not be demoted because of it. And so, does it solve any of the problems? Those problems that I don't know about why you think it's counterproductive though.
So so right there. I feel like if YouTube could get rid of the algo, and I think it's because they have sponsors and shit that they have to worry about, is why these things happen. You know what I'm saying? So you don't need to be on chain to get those benefits that you were just talking about there.
I see what you're saying. Okay, I see exactly what you're saying.
So again, I'm talking like mechanisms here, like all that other kind of stuff is just like just arbitrary rules in the scope of it. But if we're looking at like the mechanism of how streaming works and how it was intended to work, just in the renting of stuff that we present you, where does the ownership ownership first ideology of Web3 meet with the rentership first ideology of streaming? Like, how are we doing those things? They're very one or the other. And then that's when you start getting into the, okay, well, but over here we can do this. It's like, yeah, that's because somebody's saying that you can. It's nothing to do with blockchain.
Right. That's right. I mean? That's right. Yeah, I do know what you mean. Yeah, I do know what you mean. So, okay, so let's stay on this real quick. So what I'm seeing is, and you tell me if I've got this right. So if, for example, if I do a on-chain stream and then automatically under the hood, when I end the stream or when I close the stream, if it uploads and is available through IPFS, then has it done something different? Because now there's an actual asset that's actually like recorded. It's IPFS. I mean, is that Because then if the platform, right, goes down, the IPFS link still remains. Is that better? That's not how things work necessarily, but would that be the improvement that you're talking about? That makes it make sense?
Yeah, I mean, okay, but then again, now back to what I was talking about the act of just, you know, just I don't think that, because to me, streaming is a bunch of stuff that you can kind of rent and have back. The key word there is the renting part. But
Yeah,
when you now have recorded a video, like just
yeah.
because you did it over a live, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's because you did it live. Like if we take this and now it's in IPFS
Yeah,
and people can go buy it or whatever, because essentially that's what
yes,
they're doing with Web3. They're buying it.
yes.
That's different. That's not streaming. That's not streaming. That it's like a content purchasing system. Again,
Okay,
if you feel what I'm saying, like when I
yes.
say when I say streaming, I'm talking about
This
like
part right here, before it's recorded. This part right here.
not even this part, not even this part.
Oh,
It's just the industry of, hey, you can't own this.
oh,
You gotta pay a
live.
subscription to get at this. And even with wrestling now, like wrestling is now streaming on Netflix and it's live, but it's still very much strummed or streamed. It's still very much streamed. And I can't like I don't yeah. Again,
I
streaming,
think I
you
think
don't
it's a
own it.
new. I think that's the whole point. Okay, let's look at this, right? I think that's the whole point. Streaming is the digital version of a live performance. Because when you are live, you're busking live on the street. You're on the street, you're on the corner singing. Streaming is trying to be that experience
Okay,
that you can only get if you happen to be walking by in that moment.
let's do this. I think that like we're getting a bit
I think
caught up
part of
on the
it.
here.
Oh,
Let's
but
call
what I'm
this like
asking.
there's
Wait, hold
live
real.
streaming. Oh, sorry, go.
I'm sorry. I just want to put a classifier. I guess what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say is, um, are you of the mindset that there's low or no value when something's ephemeral? It's just only for a little bit of time.
No.
Okay.
What I'm trying to define here is that you like somebody selling live streams isn't necessarily isn't the same as the streaming industry. That's
Okay.
what I'm trying to find here. That there's live streaming, sure, yeah, but then there's also the streaming industry, which is what I'm saying. Like you can sell a live stream. You can sell access to a live stream on Web3. You can do all that stuff, sure, but when the streaming industry was created, it was made so that you're not like you don't own any of this media. It's just here, you pay us a subscription, we'll kick it to you.
Mm.
That's one thing, and live streaming is another. So there's streaming and then there's live streaming. Streaming is renting or is basically subscribing or renting access to just media. Live streaming is this what we're doing, okay? So if you are selling live streams, I feel that is different than streaming. That's selling live streams. That's selling
Okay.
content, basically. You dig what I'm saying?
I think so. So what's a good example of streaming? What's the streaming that you feel is counterproductive?
Like again, okay, so yeah, so like let's say so any platforms, I guess, that are doing streaming with Web3 on the back end, there's nothing really like you're still just fucking streaming. You just are either paying a subscription in crypto or somebody is getting paid out on chain, which goes to my point that when people talk about doing Web3 streaming, what they want is just streaming that just pays better.
Ah,
You know what I'm saying? So, and I struggle to see how, like, okay, if you're doing like I'm trying to imagine Netflix on chain from the point of the consumer where it's like this is better, and I'm still getting the
Oh,
product from Netflix. I'm still just able to just stream. I can't really get anything per se, like, because it like I said, like if you download some shit from Netflix and that show is gone from Netflix, you don't have the access to the download either. You know what I mean? Like now that's streaming. That's streaming. That
I
that that
see.
all the rules, that is streaming. So now if I got I don't know, if I paid in crypto to and I had my wallet connected or whatever the fuck, it still is, all those rules are still there. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I'm just trying to see how from the consumer standpoint, what is me paying in crypto? What is me connecting my wallet doing?
I totally
Why?
see what you're saying. Why are we doing it's the same question of if we're just selling MP3s, why do we have to make it so complicated with crypto?
Yeah, basically. And it's not even and again, if with the selling MP3s thing, with like I can understand that because it's like, hey, yeah, we're doing this and selling MP3s, but when you do this, it's pegged to this token that might make it go up, or like, or I can keep, but again, you could do a lot of this shit with a fucking email list, you know? You do a
No,
lot of this.
I don't think I don't
Sorry, I was
know.
getting a phone call.
Oh, no, I don't know. I like maybe I have to have the epiphany to see it this way, but I feel like on-chain streaming is great. I love being able to tokenize things. I love being able to have that ownership. I do have, some anxiety about platforms folding because it's happened to all of us multiple times. And yeah, AttaBotty, do you have any thoughts on this on-chain streaming or something else?
Yeah, no. I I I like the idea of it. And kind of a couple of things that it solves. I just see it more as kind of like meeting people where they're at, and if they prefer more of an on-chain experience to interact with the live streaming, then I mean that's where your audience is, or that's where you want to hone in, because there's like different trinkets and different things that you could do. Um, and it's not necessarily, maybe it's not even stuff that's impossible on the other side, but maybe some homies have more like ETH to throw around, or they're like, they're maxis in some other chain. Um, and there's other sides to that too, where I mean, everyone's going to turn something into a gambling thing, or a or try to max out on something with that. So I mean, it's just a different crowd, and then what they expect and what they want to be able to do with it. Like for instance, there's Amazon, but I'd really like to be able to spend my crypto directly to get stuff online and online stores, which I know there is, but that's why there's that market for it, for people who would rather go that route. And so, like little gifts, little the tipping, all that stuff. Yeah, we could do it there,
Thing.
but it's just another means to do it with another crowd that would prefer it that way. So and there's also things that I've liked too, where there's instead of subscriptions, there's staking, so people can like stake for you and your profile and stuff like that, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's more gets into, especially if you got the ball rolling. In theory, it a stable, really stable income from that. Not that would be your only one, but it's just a stable stream. And the more that compacts, and so I think that's pretty cool. But at the same time, if that's not like what you're trying to do, and you think it's like way easier to just do a Twitch stream and or do TikTok or YouTube or any of that, set that up, and it works more for your business structure, your branding, or all that stuff. Yeah, there's no reason not to do that, or no reason to go that extra level. But if same thing the other way around, if your branding, your community, all that's on the other way, and people kind of expect to interact with you on some kind of Web3 basis.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that there's that whole aspect to it. I think that it could branch out into more than just like purchasing the streams. Because like I was saying, like it really depends on the platform too. And that's a huge issue is in Web3 is like platforms folding. And
Wow.
building anything on there. It's especially people been in it for years, it's a huge testing ground for so many ideas. And as that happens, there's a lot of people who, yeah, can't keep the ball rolling on their end of things, even though you might be kicking ass on your side as a content creator or a streamer. So yeah, that to me, that's like one of the biggest things is like having the feeling of stability with a platform that is going to be, and you can put 10 years into it, and that you're I mean, we can't really put 10 years in anything. You can't even put in 10 years even into YouTube, but you know my point, where you feel confident that you can put time into something and that's it's gonna be there still. So that's like where my biggest gripe with it is, but I do see it, I'm always gonna be like, oh, you could do that. Yeah, I like those kind of cool things. But at the same time, I ain't gonna front, man. Like, I don't like to lose money. I don't like to lose time, sweat equity. That shit sucks. So it's I this but yeah, definitely see what you're saying, GodCloud too. But as far as what's the point of a lot of those things? And there's already things been addressed. 100%. I just the only time I see it and it looks successful and it sounds successful is again meeting people where they're at, and so if they prefer that to be their medium or how they want to, spend some money, make some money, spend their time and all that stuff. Yeah. But who knows if it's a fad or well, that's the bigger thing to me. It's like, what's the platform that, you could do that all in? And then are you gonna build it yourself? And that's just there's a lot of maybes and we'll sees going on. So but I love the idea of it in many different ways. Yeah. So that's how I feel about it.
Did you ever do anything with 402 back in the day before they became hype?
Mm.
Mm-mm.
No? Okay, so peep this, right? So peep this. So I with so hype wallet or whatever, right? They're like
No.
Yeah.
What chain is that?
yeah, they're like for the meme coins and all that stuff. It was like it's Ravi, right? Who was running that. So before that, he was he was doing this company called the 402, right? And it was like a web3 like based like live streaming platform. And it was listen, like, and this is why I'm saying that these things are like live streams is different from streaming services. You know what I mean? Like, and that you know what I'm saying? Like, what we do is different from what Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime do. You know what I mean? Even though they might have live sports and whatnot, I still feel that these are very different things.
Yeah.
And on the 402, right? How it worked on my first performance, what I did was I said, hey, anybody who owns these NFTs get free access, right? And people were able to, connect their wallet. They got those NFTs. They're in the show for free. They could tip. And another cool thing that they could do was that they could buy sections of the performance that they like. So if, from minute 5 to minute 10, like I was killing it and I wasn't like fucking up my rolls or whatever. They're like, yo, this right here, he's doing great. Let's buy this part. They could do that and it would turn it into an NFT and it pop it in their wallet. I'd get paid for it. So cool shit, right? You know what I mean? That was dope. I like that. I like that. And that was because it was built to do that. You know what I'm saying? And when you just when not saying like you either of you personally, but just in general. Because again, like I said, this is what like at NFT NYC, they were like, oh hey, we want you to talk about this. And this is something I was kind of been like, to me, it just doesn't add up. When it's like going to, I know at Blockbuster they had like stuff pre-owned, stuff that you could buy, but if you're going to Blockbuster, like, yo, I'm trying to buy some of this shit, they're gonna be like, nah, dude, it's not how this works. We
Maybe
are
also
Blockbuster.
sticky. You want to buy somebody's sticky VCR rental.
Yeah, right. Like you can buy some snacks. You could buy the Blockbuster popcorn bucket. That's what you can buy here. But as far as the media goes, it's not how this store works. You can't fucking buy it unless you got smart and you rented a bunch of stuff before a store was closing and you just never took it back, which is what I used to do. But yeah. So that's that's just my standpoint on it. And I gotta build this dream house because yeah, I can tell they're getting antsy. But yeah, I and I got some more questions too about, because I know you said that you're doing the streaming thing. Like, have you like bought it? Like, so when you're streaming, like, how do people are people like subscribing to your channel on Pump Fun or? Yeah.
Yeah.
How has it been? Have you subscribed to any other channels?
To be honest with you, so I discovered it right before I had to prepare for conference and a bunch of other stuff.
Okay.
So I set everything up and I spent a little bit of time there. I found a couple channels I wanted to subscribe to. The ones that stood out most to me as being really good were there's like the stand-up comedian, stand-up comic. That's like a perfect, situation for that. I subscribed to his because I saw that, there was still people like chatting in his thing, even though he wasn't there. I subscribed to that one. Most of the stuff I saw was really just like, it wasn't anything. It was garbage. There was just like,
Okay.
or there wasn't anybody like present, or it's just like random. But when I saw something I liked, I would subscribe. I think for myself, the reason why to do something like that would be for the interaction, the engagement. So like, on YouTube, they have something called like Superfan. You can
Mhm.
subscribe, but you can also join the channel as a member. And when you click join instead of subscribe, you pay like $5 a month. But like when you make a comment, your comment is big. Or like, if you're a
Yeah.
super fan, your comment goes on top. So like there could be like in-stream gamification. And I think that's where the juice is at.
Okay. Sure. And I was asking you those questions because I wanted to know like what, because again, like I feel like when people are like, I want Web3 streaming, it's usually a creator who
Yeah.
is frustrated with how the other side of streaming like either pays or how it functions or whatever.
I like it as a consumer. Like, the setup was cool. Also, right there on this underneath the stream, this is super nerdy, but right underneath the stream is the chart for the coin. So like, it's fun. You're sitting there talking, you're commenting, and you can see when the token goes up. Because here's another thing that I like: you can make it so that people have to pay to comment.
Sure.
It doesn't have
Yeah.
to be a lot because we're talking about crypto, so it's like less than a penny, but it's making your chart go up, and everyone's kind of enjoying it. The people who paid 8 cents, a dollar, $10, $20, whatever they're doing, are in there, and it's fun. So when you're in there, you're not just in there idly. Like on YouTube, yeah, you're commenting, whatever, but the only thing that's going up is you're making the creator feel good. When you join the live stream, when the creator's live, you're putting your hearts, you're putting your comments, you're generating vibes. You're generating vibes, and that's great. And your presence is generating views. But as a consumer on those platforms, you don't really get to partake of that. But when you're on the on-chain streaming platform, all of that interest and all the comments and everything is making your own little token holding value increase. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I can. Okay. I can see that.
Come to the dark side. We have cookies.
No, listen. I was saying, I think that live streaming paired with Web3 works. But again, I don't think that like a streaming, like again, like I said,
Spotify.
like Netflix, like Spotify, like their whole business model is
Agreed.
you can't do it. You can't own this shit, But Web3 live streaming, I participated in it. It works. I profited off that, so I know Web3 live streaming works. But Web3 powered streaming services, which is how when I hear Web3 streaming, that's what I think of. That's what I think
With
of people
Spotify,
want.
you're like, no.
Yeah. But obviously, shit, you can do anything on live streams. Like if the mechanism is set up properly, you could do whatever, you know, then hell yeah, you're gonna be able to do your thing. But
once the live stream is over, it becomes a streaming platform, so to speak. Because, like, for example, when I'm on Pump Fun, if the creator is not live doing a performance in that moment, in effect, the channel has become a streaming
sure,
platform where I can listen to all their stuff for free. I have free access to their content, which is, and is this why you were saying this is counterproductive? You're putting out all your content and you're not profiting. Is this why you say it's counterproductive?
No. The reason why I say it's counterproductive is just like I keep saying, is that the ethos of streaming is that you don't own it, you know.
Okay.
But in Web3, you need to own it. That's the whole premise of Web3, is that you own it. Don't own it.
But no. Okay, but this is one thing. This is one thing I'll say though. It should be that way. Nice, but the word, there's one little hyphenated word that's missing from this conversation. It's called token gate. And that's what I think is missing. Because if we could have on-chain streaming is not, huh?
You mean token gating from our conversation right now?
No, I mean like in on-chain live streams and in on-chain streaming, there's no token gating. So that's why it's not. If we had that, then it would make sense. So for example, let's say that this live stream was an on-chain stream in the perfect world, okay, where we can token gate this. And how it would look is maybe you could watch the first 5 minutes of the whole stream, but after that, you would need to hold the token.
Okay.
Yeah. To have access to it. Then it makes sense, because right now, because it took me a while, I'm so sorry, but it took me a really long time to understand like the nuances between like what you were actually saying, because like the live stream has value when it's live, but once it stops being live, it does basically revert to just being streamed content that anyone has access to. You don't have to hold a token, and you don't have to be a member. You don't have to follow the person. You have access to all of it.
Yeah, no, you're right. And that's why I was wondering about the consumer aspect, or the consumer experience on those things, you know, because I know it's hot for the creator, and I know it's fun when you're in it and you can, you know, like I mentioned on the 402 thing, you can grab snippets, and now it's an NFT and all that type of stuff. You know what I mean?
I think you can do that too on Pump. You can also create clips. Pretty sure.
Shit. Okay. So yeah, like I get the benefits.
But nobody's buying that stuff. And this is the thing. Yes, people can buy, but who is doing that? And this is what I wonder about. It's like, you know, it's basically, it kind of feels like tipping, right? Like I look at Pod's on-chain podcast platform, right? I was like, oh, great. I want to put my stuff there and whoop-de-whoop. But then it's like, it's kind of the same situation. It's like, you know, people can just listen to it. They don't have to pay to listen to it. And so, you know, it's been my experience that people aren't forced to pay. Most people don't. Even if they have a little change they could throw in, most people need that social pressure to come up off those dollars. Do I lie?
Yeah. No.
Am right.
I think, yeah, and to me too, I think, you know, I think Web3 is definitely a lot about ownership, but it could also be used like as like you know, exploration into how we could utilize the tech for things that behoove the creators and the audience. And so for instance, I really love the idea of like staking mechanisms where, you know, the money you put in allows for the system to be able to feed itself and generate funds from those funds. And so, you know, I think anything that would be attractive to the audience member is a super low price. You know, you pay this much. Maybe it's a credit system, maybe it's a monthly system, but it's very affordable. But, you know, instead of trying to make your money off of people and that whole thing of getting more in through the subscription-based system, that the whole goal is to get like a liquid pool going, or a very healthy, you know, staking mechanism. And so then you could still keep the influx of people. It's still, you know, but there's like a coin that's being done. There's a thing, and that the people get all the, that the one that all of it's traceable. So whatever is divvied out or the splits given out or any of that stuff could really have a good track on all of that, of the revenue, how it's being, the funds and how they're being dispersed. But then, maybe there's other things too where you can add in a mechanism for, kind of almost like where you could stake with particular artists that you want to see them do more with. So it's like, I think that we definitely have the tech for all that stuff. Again, it's a platform that is going to consistently be around. But I like ideas like that because it's a better experience for everyone. And, that's why, I really like those self-sustaining type projects and people thinking in that way, making money with the money. And so, if we're able to do a system like that, everyone can feed off of that. And then the user experience is great because it's so low, of a buy-in. And but then there's also the opportunity to, invest in creators that, you just love their music, you want to see more of it. Yeah, that there's kind of like room for all of that. And so I really, I think that no one's really owning anything at that point. It's still streaming, but that there's almost like a, kind of, I I heard it before. It's like, imagine if you get, energy from the roads that people drive on.
Yeah.
Magnetic energy from the freeway. How much energy would we be building just on the highways in America alone? So it's like, the same kind of concept in Web3 with all the transactions and the transaction fees and then staking and liquid. It's like, it's really neat. I kind of like that. And, for, even streaming classic Netflix type, um, hopefully, but this things that I've heard and experienced a couple of, I feel like that. I thought that was pretty cool, or
Yeah.
at least a good step in the right direction.
Definitely a step in the right direction. Yeah.
Yo,
I feel
can
like we
y'all
need
hear?
blockchain for monetizing. Yeah.
Hold on,
GC.
sorry. Yeah, because Otto, you were breaking up pretty bad on that last part for me. I'm sorry.
No.
No, you were breaking up, but I could still understand what you were saying through
I
the computer land.
I couldn't at all. I'm sorry. Can you like give a quick little like synopsis
Recap?
recap of that? I'm so sorry, bro.
Yeah. No, that I think that like the classic streaming sense, like either Spotify or, Netflix, could be adjusted so that, we can make money off of either transaction fees, staking mechanisms, or like a liquid pool. And that the thing that would attract people is a very low buy-in or subscription fee. And but that people, the way that it's, uh being designed, making money from that money. And so that, you know, it's a very low, inexpensive thing. You can get your music, high quality, all that kind of stuff streaming from there. But then one, you have a lot more trace of who gets the royalties and the streaming revenue from all that, because it's all on chain. And then on top of that, you could, um, yeah, keep the price low, everyone making money in different ways, and then those different mechanisms that can kind of grow itself from that money, are really cool. And, yeah, just different things that I think could be explored, um, especially being, like very savvy with the money. So yeah, no, that I don't know if I did a good job of putting it all back together, but it's basically that, of where
Yeah,
I've seen the tech be utilized in those ways where it's the same. It could be the same kind of structure, but, a lot more a lot more accountability. And then also here's another big thing that I didn't touch on too. I don't know if you heard this part, but the staking, where you can stake on particular artists where you'd like to support them and see them do more work. And then, that, uh, you know, I just see like a lot of things like that that are really cool. Um, and but the biggest caveat in all of this is the platform.
Oh my gosh, I know it. You
Mhm.
know, I think Oh, hey. Oh my God, GodCloud. We have to let it go. I hate letting you go, GodCloud, but you have to make the Barbie dream house.
Did you hear what she
Because
said?
no, what'd she say?
She said it can't build itself, you know.
You gotta make that dream house, Daddy.
I'm done, yo. I'm
All right, we love you, GC.
Mic drop.
We'll catch you next.
so afraid for when she hits her teen years. I am toast, yo. Like I don't even know. All right. But all right, yo. And
right.
before I go, I gotta show Anna. I showed you, I gotta show Anna. Check it, bro. My pops just dropped this off.
Oh.
Make it talk,
Ooh.
GodCloud.
What's that?
Make it talk, Daddy.
I don't got it plugged in. I gotta plug it in. But yeah, she's not gonna plug it in.
That
And
is
she just
beauty.
not that cool anyway. So let me just build her Barbie castle. Let me do
Yes.
what I'm good for.
Make sure you post. We want to see pics. We want to see pics when it's done. Okay. That's the
Barbie,
dream house.
Barbie.
All right. Peace. I'll see y'all later.
Love
Yo.
ya.
Later, squad. See ya.
Yo. Oh my
Peace.
gosh. So good.
Oh,
It's so
God.
good to see GodCloud.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but so it got you. We got each other. So there it
Let's
is.
go.
Hey, did you get my message about?
Okay.
Did you get my message? I responded to your message about.
Ooh, I didn't get that. If you responded back to that,
I did. So do you want me to?
was it on WhatsApp?
Oh, I was just saying. I was saying. I don't know exactly who you meant, but if you want, go for
Oh.
it. I just don't know who
Uh-huh.
you're talking about. But if you think it's a good idea, go
Ah,
for it.
for sure. Yeah. Okay. I'll send it in right now. It's here. I'll text you who it is.
Oh, okay. Because the
Oh, I
name that you.
misspelled that like crazy.
Oh, is that why I didn't know who it was?
Probably no. Here. I'll tell you. This is it. This is it. Boom. Okay. So let me.
Oh my God! Yes, please! Oh my God! Yes, yes, my friends! I've been missing him so much.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So
Oh
let me
my
let me
gosh.
send him the link.
Yeah.
Boom.
Okay.
Boom. Boom.
Yeah. For friends who don't know, so like, I don't know if it's just like an Apple Android thing or what, but like, every time I text you, it tells me, except for like sometimes it usually says message not received, and it always messes with me. So
Yeah,
I
the
don't even
last one
know.
was total BS. Yeah, because I looked at your thing and I saw a heart on my message and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. When I get the message, when she'll let me know, and then I go on there and like, what the fuck? You didn't
Yeah.
tell me I
And
got
so,
text, but you told me I got a heart.
oh yeah. So like,
BS.
so do you think that they just get held up and they didn't come through right away, and then they all just showed up at once, or what?
Maybe, I don't know. I'm also like, I just got this phone and I'm like, I haven't really had a chance to because I was also using the old message system for the longest time, and then it was telling me it's like, this is super outdated. You need to update it. You cannot use this
Oh,
app no more. So I was like, okay, but now I can like heart messages now. So I was like, yeah, that was super outdated. But
oh,
yeah, there's a couple of things I'm still learning about it. Um,
about what?
like freaking I had to go into the settings to tell it to not reveal like my
Are you talking
email
about?
and everything every time I
Are,
text somebody. It was super
are,
weird.
are you on the Ton phone? What's this new phone? You got the Ton? What you got?
No, it's the S25
Oh,
Galaxy. Yeah.
oh,
I'm just using a new texting app. It's the Google one and it's better, but I'm a noob.
oh. Okay, all right. Well, I'll be hollering at you in WhatsApp so I can get
Let's go. Hell yeah.
some get back, because otherwise I'm like, dang. Yeah. So
I
there was a
sent
there's
I sent where you sent? Sorry.
go. No, you go ahead.
I was just saying I sent the link off. Hopefully he's still around. That'd be dope.
That
Here,
would
I'm
be
gonna say,
so
yo.
dope. That would be dope. But in the meantime, I'll get a
Uh-huh.
little message if he shows up. Um, but in the meantime, how is your 2025 wrapping up? It's been a really amazing year. I was hoping, if you have the time, that maybe you'd like to highlight a couple of the, not even a couple, but highlight the things that you want to share, because I'm sure that there's some things you did that I missed. And,
Uh,
it's like this is the last show before the end of the year, and maybe it's an opportunity for everyone to catch up with you.
okay, cool. Yeah, I guess, yeah, for sure. It'd be the last show of the year. You hell yeah, let's go. um,
Yeah, yeah.
freaking yeah. There's a lot happened this year. I think this is a very eventful year. Um, and learned a lot as always. But I'd say, yeah, just coming back from Miami, I think was really nice. I had a really nice time. It was great seeing you again and us chilling. Had some awesome sushi. So I'm still dreaming of that sushi. I don't know. Like there's someone was dogging on the Miami sushi. I mean, I guess they're from like the West Coast, so I guess pretty good sushi in Cali. But I like my sushi. It was really good.
Yeah, mine was incredible. The whole experience was great. Like the place was great,
Yeah.
all of us, and
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Uh-huh.
I have no complaints. I'm from California. I have pretty high standards when it comes to like raw food and fresh food, and I was very pleased.
Hmm. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Boom. Yeah, eat it.
Yeah, the
Those
company.
guys can totally eat
It,
it.
it was the company that we were with also that was really
Right.
extraordinary. It
Very
was like,
nice. And so,
yeah, yeah, go for it.
yeah. No, and so this year, yeah, kind of closed it off with a bang, going to Miami. Um, for the last couple months, I'd say I've been kind of going more on monk mode.
Mm,
Trying to do some things I've been really wanting to do. Reasons why I entered this space. Had to, I guess, because I run a production studio and I have to, make sure that that's growing. There's certain goals for that as well. But feeling like I definitely need to steer uh, the vehicle and the whole reason why I'm doing everything, my artist message and all of that. And so last couple months wasn't even posting. Not to say that I wasn't working on stuff and doing things in the back end. In fact, like nonstop all day, every day, 14-hour days. So
there you go.
that was still, yeah, that was still going on, but just like took a step back, really was thinking about things, and so kind of came out with the last piece that I did in Miami with the alien and stuff like that, and then also like the Velociraptor piece, the Raptor Rift. um those are kind of like hinting towards where I want to go back to and what I want to do, and so
Well, where can people find
really,
those? Where can they find
yeah.
those?
So the Raptor Rift was is all actually all this is on Tezos. I did my Genesis Tezos piece when I was in Miami, um, and very happy about that one. Um, yeah, that you could find that in the Miami Vibes collection, and then search up my name, AttaBotty, and everything. But yeah,
So,
so
like,
that.
well, hold on, wait, wait, wait.
Mhm.
What is the
Oh,
website to go to put in those things?
I have a link, but the website, yeah, again, I have to update my website. Usually you have all that
Like
stuff, front
object?
page and
Should
stuff.
I
Object, yeah,
search on
object is
Object?
that.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
OBJT,
Let's
and that's
go.
where we can find this new work. Yeah,
Yeah, it's called
yeah.
self-abduction.
Okay, what's it called again? Spell it for me,
Self-abduction,
please. Okay, self.
SELF, and then abduction, ABDUCTION.
Got it. Beautiful. Okay.
Hey.
Well, I have to always ask about the spelling because in crypto we like to spell things differently.
Right.
So, oh,
Abduction, it was
Adivani. Yeah,
double
this is
DCS.
incredible. Yeah, this is incredible. Shall I pull
Thank
this up
you.
on a third screen? Do you want to talk about it?
Oh, sure. Yeah, for
Okay,
sure. I
cool.
appreciate that. No, thank
Okay,
you.
you start talking. I'm gonna pull it up, okay?
Hey, okay. Yeah, so this piece is kind of going back to the whole thing of me getting back to my center. I went to Marfa and Marfa was really incredible. Also, I'm from the West originally. I was born in California, so I get incredibly homesick. I love the desert. I love mountains and all that stuff. I mean, everything. And so having, going back to into Marfa is the first time I've been back to that much of a desert area, with mountains and everything like that. About close to, I think I had about 14 years. And so, yeah, it was really cool. And it was just reminding me of a lot of things that I wanted to make sure I do with my artistic message and my message and all. It's just what I'm trying to do and bring into the world. I'm trying to survive, so that's why there's that business thing. But there's the art side, which is, I mean, there's the message that I really, really want to, convey and just, put a little piece in the world, my little addition to things. But yeah, as you see in the piece, there's a guy just sitting by the fire and just kind of talking shit. Goes to mess with the fire, and then yeah, something happens. I'll wait till the video comes up, but the uh, the idea of it is that I'm the dude going to the fire, kind of being complacent, and needed something to shake me up, shake up the whole everything. And Marfa was very much so that kind of experience for me to kind of get me to think about stuff and settle down for a little bit, shake it up, and hone in because um, definitely my next big thing is to build out the AttaBotty experience, but all of it's going to incorporate things like this. The uh, and if the video doesn't come up, I could explain it out. But
I got it.
basically,
Hold on.
alien ship. Oh, you did?
Yeah, hold on
There it is. Nice.
one
But yeah,
second.
yeah. All of it's me. I'm the protagonist, antagonist, all of it, and that's why the name self abduction is there. But yeah, so as you see, um, it's all little miniatures. I'm really into like different forms of animation. And this one obviously was deeply inspired by Love Death Robots and that animation style with the little miniature people. Um, and so, but also big time Mobius as well. And so where I was just trying to get that fastness because that's how it felt to be in the desert was just, I mean, enormous fastness. You could see end to end of everywhere, the galaxy, the Milky Way. There was no end to sight of anything. It was really cool. Um, and yeah, so I wanted to capture that. A lot of the mountains, for instance, were actual pictures of the mountains in Marfa that I painted over. The stars are all twinkling from the night skies that I got. Only thing like that planet, I obviously didn't grab that. That was something I made. But yeah, all did the line work. But then afterwards, the message of the whole thing, self abduction, is that yeah, I needed to abduct myself. I was getting too complacent and just like
Mm.
on an autopilot thing, which is kind of my message is to like break out of that. The car is not a car. Car is a 2 billion ton thing. It's not really 2 billion tons, but it's really heavy and it has a combustion engine that is traveling down the road. Like I like to think more like that. I don't like to be it's a car and you're just doing, like I like to really break it apart. So that complacency of just trying to get things done and get work done and different things like that needed to get out of that, and which is the alien ship is also me kind of coming out and just grabbing my ass and swooping me out of that to just like wake up, because that's the like why are you living, I'm not living just to work. No, what's the what's the point, and it's
Ooh,
not
that
right, it's not
that
right.
part right
And
there.
hmm yeah, exactly. And we're getting out of that. You got to rip yourself out of it because it's like a cozy blanket. You got to pull it off, flashed out of there, beamed out, and then freaking go up into the universe because it's just staring at you every single night. You can walk outside and you can see the whole universe. So it's just stuff like that I, want to just all the time live by. And so that's why diving into the art is the next thing for 2026, just all art. Yeah, of course, professional work. Gotta get gotta keep the lights on. But um, yeah, I'm like really honing into that because it's really important. I part of my life and Ninja Way and everything is to get some of these thoughts out there. But yeah, that self-abduction, I appreciate you for putting it up and hear a little bit
Yeah,
about it.
yeah,
I've been feeling like real close with the art, so I feel like that's a good sign. And
yeah. I
appreciate
love
you.
this piece. Yeah, it's so cool.
Thank
And
you.
this, you're welcome. And this, is this the piece that was like augmented reality triggered in Miami?
No,
Or was it a different
that
piece?
one was the other one, Raptor Rift. Yeah.
Okay.
And that one was pretty cool. That was at the beach that you had to do a scavenger hunt to find it.
Okay,
With
that's
Bit
it.
Basil. Yeah, that one
Yes.
was fun.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And so that one was pretty cool too because the whole thing was on like renewable energy and think blue and thinking about the oceans. Um, and so my piece was to kind of have a raptor eating up this it's in the Dead Sea, and it's like picking at the bones of a sea creature,
Ooh.
looks at you and then crashes through the window. The whole message of that is, the past is coming for us. Our decisions and what we're doing.
Ooh.
We're the new volcanoes and dumping all the CO2 into everything. We're going to be at that point where it's going to be so hot that all the shit's going to dry up, or there's going to be insane just climate change everywhere. And so, but the thing is, when the raptor shoots out of the thing and busts through the window, it's a beam that stops it right in its tracks. And if you look up with the phone, you'll see it's an alien ship that's holding it in place. And the idea of that is that's us. That's the ability to have conscious decision and be able to study that and analyze it to make decisions to be able to put the beast back into the cage, where we don't have to live like that. We can also use our ability to make choices and decisions to adjust. um and so yeah, that's kind of, and so that way we can learn from the past rather than having to relive it to learn from it, and don't have to get
100%.
eaten up by a velociraptor.
Yeah. What's the beast?
The raptor,
No, but what's the
coming
beast?
after it.
No, like,
The bee.
no, what's the beast? Like the figurative beast.
Oh, the
Like
figurative
what,
beast. Oh, for us,
yeah, what
yeah,
does the
is
raptor represent?
the raptor represents the I guess you would say, um what's the word I'm looking for? It's not desperation, but the total
Mm.
lack of everything, of resources due to all the climate change and everything that would be upsetting the ecosystems that we rely on.
Mm.
And you know, I don't, I'm not a scientist that what are they called? I know the name, but it's escaping my mind. But I believe it's an ecologist. So I'm not one of those. But I do feel that climate change is going to look different than a lot of people may realize, but I do not see it being a very positive thing in many ways. You look at human induced like climate change, you look at a lot of deserts that are being regreened, by the way, through super cool projects, but nonetheless, a lot of times deserts that we find are actually caused by humans, through us continuously extracting from the ground and the soil and stuff like that. So um, I feel like we can intentionally reverse that, but we got to be conscious of it. And that yeah, that the what the beast represents is I guess a desperation from the lack of resource that's going to happen from that stuff.
Hmm.
We'll be the we're not only is the raptor coming out to attack us, but we'll be the raptor that's picking on the bones in the Dead Sea.
Oh, for sure. You know what's so interesting is humans, at, our understanding of the resources that we actually have access to here on Earth are so nascent.
Mm, hmm.
And it reminds me of a person who is really hungry.
Mm,
And they wander into a health food store and they're looking at all the food, but they're not recognizing it as such.
right, Right.
And
Yeah.
I feel like we are that hunger, because I feel like, there's so many, like, what about the young guy that has made gasoline from plastic?
Right. Right.
And what about all the amazing fabrics that we can make with seaweed,
Mhm.
right? And what about all
Mhm.
these amazing materials that are being used to build, like the people that are now 3D printing houses? Magnificent. You
Yeah.
know, yeah, I feel like we just have to like change our perspective to see, maybe change our perspectives and change our workflows to make use of all this, because it's true. Climate is changing, and
Mm.
we can't do the same things that we used to do.
Right.
But there will
Right.
be new things that we didn't used to be able to do that we can now do. There will be
Yeah.
resources that we didn't used to, extract value from, that we could. There's so for all of the things that we used to be able to do that we can no longer do safely, if ever they were
Mm.
safe to begin with, right? We can we can replace them with, with the new and better, and I feel like that's what we're supposed to do. There's like this
Mhm.
stagnant philosophy that sometimes I hear, like, back in my day it used to be like X and Y and Z, and it's like, because something was good in a certain mode doesn't mean that that's the only way it can be good.
Mhm. Right. And also just because something worked before doesn't mean that it's going to work today. And one of the cool things though about I feel like human ingenuity under pressure is that we tend to come up with some really good ways to deal with a lot of this stuff. For instance, when there was there is a I forget the exact time. It was definitely in the 1800s, though. There was a huge die out of a lot of horses due to this disease that was just ravaging through Europe,
Mm,
and that was kind of the catalyst that led to the invention of the bike because there was no horses around. People needed to get around. There needed to be a faster way, and it led to all kinds of different inventions until finally we have the bicycle, which
that's the
is
silver
one of the
lining.
greatest. Yeah, right, exactly, and so much of things like that, kind of come up through that crucible effect with us, and even to the point of there during the dry ices period, that farming was a caused because of the end of the ice age, and so people had to be more strategic with their resources and hunting and all that stuff. So I feel like we're in that really nice pivot point, that can make or break us. Um, but it's really through analyzing that what could be done and how to, adjust. Because like you said, climate change is coming. The we've been through a lot of different terms that global warming. This climate change is. I think that's the best way because it goes kind of both ways. You could have bigger snowstorms, but you could also have bigger deserts and
Mm.
droughts and everything like that. But that, yeah, the amount of CO2 coming out, I mean, if you look at it, this has been this way since the dinosaurs and just insane amount of volcanoes pluming up with freaking dust all day, every day. Which is kind of what we have, with human um, presence, So I think that it's a great time for us to like break the barrier and go to another form of understanding where we are and our effect on things. So yeah, no, I appreciate analyzing the art piece like that. It's again,
Well,
yeah,
I
it's
knew
one
you
of
were
those
trying to
things.
say something. I know you too well. I'm like, the velociraptor is not just a velociraptor, okay?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's you gotta it's an essence of it's a warning, but it's also a kind of should act as kind of like a comfort that we do have the ability to reverse things, not reverse it, but um to put it back, to figure out a way to go get to the next step and not have to live through a mass extinction. because I don't think anybody wants to go through a mass extinction event. As
Yeah,
cool
look,
and as rich and as amazing as you think you might be, if the ocean dies out and we don't have fish, I mean, you just can't even imagine what that'd be like. I don't think any of us can imagine just the amount of despair that would happen. No amount of money could fix it. So, yeah.
I mean, listen, when everyone had to stay
Mhm.
inside for COVID, look how we handled it. Especially y'all people in Florida down there.
Right.
You guys are like,
Yeah.
nah,
Nah.
nah, we're gonna do our thing.
Yeah.
But
So,
that's
maybe we'll just
look,
get a tolerance for mercury, that'll be great.
that would be hilarious. Well, look who it is.
It was good, y'all. What's good, y'all?
And look at you. There's music in the
Yeah,
house, my friend.
yeah. I was in your
Lions.
live chat earlier, just talking shit.
Oh my God. Look. Hey, so why don't you, if you don't mind, Lions Den, please give everyone a long intro. Let them know who you are and where they can find your music.
All right, Lions Den Res Music. You can find my music on all platforms under. Well, you can see the name, and Native American, self-producing, independent artist from the Onondaga Nation in upstate New York. Do like electro, reggae, hip hop, native music. So, and just been in. I just released my first album, my first full length album, like end of September. So, and I already got
Congrats.
looking to get down on my second one now.
Congrats.
I'm wondering
I
why I
know.
cannot hear this in my headphones.
Fucking Brooke, let's
can
go,
hear.
Oh,
bro. Good to see you.
there it is. Now it's better. All right, can you still hear me?
Yes.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
I was gonna do it on the computer and just said, all right, that was just too much work.
No, as long as.
So
as
how's
long
everyone
as
been? Happy holidays. Happy holidays, first off. Happy holidays. Adam,
Happy
Max,
holidays.
a
What's
million.
up?
What's
Happy
goody?
holidays. Oh my gosh, so much. Well, I finally dialed in my NFT music experience and I'm going to show it off on a live stream a little later today. Super excited about that. I've released some music, so that's my trill. Jumped it off with a holiday song. So
There you go.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I'm really looking forward to it.
Ooh, I want to hear that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and so you shall. I'll play it. I'll play it. What I did is I included the first verse of it as an Easter egg in one of my NFTs. So it's a little amuse bouche.
Moose boosh.
A little
Yeah.
amuse bouche. Yeah.
Okay, let me try to figure this. No, you can go ahead, keep talking. I'm just talking to myself out loud.
All right. Yeah. So I've got that jam coming out, and that's like a really fun. It's like a fun song. I'm looking forward to performing that live, so I'll be looking to do that. And I put
That's
out a
what's
couple
up.
of. Yes, I'm super excited about it. I mean, just like I realized it's been like 3 years since I've been here, and it took me a while to dial in an NFT music experience because I really love the idea of tokenized music. I feel like it's necessary to be independent. But I
Yep.
also agreed, yeah, and there is one thing that I also agreed with GodCloud though, which is like, if you're just selling an MP3, why do you have to make it so complicated? You know?
Yeah. That's
So
true too.
I vibe with that too. So I was like, okay, well, I want to make it worthwhile. If I'm going to ask you to buy another currency and jump through a bunch of hoops, I want to give you something that's worth doing all the trouble.
The
So
time, yeah.
yeah. So I created one experience that's like I've created a couple of 3D interactive music experiences. So not only are you listening to the music, but you can also add the sound of raindrops, and there's a whole 3D environment that you can listen to the song inside of. And I love that.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah. And so that's one. And then every single one is a bit different. I'm going to continue to evolve it. And of course, I will have some version of the music in places where people are expecting to find it, just not the same version, not the same song, just some type of little funnel, so that
Yeah.
people who are looking for me can find me. I still
Yep.
really have such strong feelings about not being a part of an ecosystem that starves artists. So I have a
Yeah.
real sense of like internal, like, there's an argument going on and nobody's won yet.
About what's the argument?
The argument is, there be some version of my songs on places where they don't pay artists. Do you
Oh
know what
yeah.
I mean? Like, so like,
Yeah,
just
but I
so
mean,
I'm
like,
just,
what then?
yeah, I'm curious. Tell
But
me your.
it's a, but again, like, you can always just look at it as that's a form of marketing. Like, I'm not looking to make money, but it's a way to get my stuff out there. Like, I don't look at it to make money off of Spotify or anything like that, but it's a way that people can easily access my music. Because the majority of the people, like myself included, I still don't really know what Web3 is. Like, so how am I going to expect people who listen to my music to know what that is?
Yeah, and that you really hit it on the nose when you say it like that, because Web3 and on-chain is actually about ownership. It's actually not
Yep.
about listening to music. It's not about music.
Yep.
It's about ownership. And you really hit
Yep.
it on
And
the
that's
nose
it.
there.
Yep. And that's a different, we're talking about two different things, I think, because what I'm thinking about with like Spotify and all that is just a way that people can easily access, because I have people who listen to my music from all age ranges. And the older generation, even like my age and up, like they're they won't put in the time to go and figure out Web3. They're just like, all right, I'm past that. I don't got the time for that. And that's the
Yeah.
truth.
Yeah. And like Ada likes to say, we have to meet people where they're at. Uh,
Yep.
at the same time, this isn't a hobby. It's a profession. And that means we have to get
Yep.
paid. And we
Yep.
don't get paid through those places that make music easy for consumers. So, how do we do that without becoming something that we don't want to become, just so that we can be the musician that we came here to be?
Well, in all honesty, where musicians make their money is performing live. That's all musicians. That's across the board. Doesn't matter if you're on Web3, web whatever. Where you make your money is performing at live venues. It doesn't come from like your record sales and all that. It comes from performing live and getting paid that way. That's if you want to make a living doing it, that's where you're going to make your money.
And that
Yeah.
is a truth that none of us can deny. And that is why, if anyone's been curious why there's such a big focus on content creation and being a famous content
Yep.
creator, it's because content creator numbers equal ticket sales perception. And when it comes down to, as Lyndon says, the place that we make the money is live performances. Well, in order to get those stages, we have to prove that we can fill up those rooms. And the only thing
Yep.
that we can prove that we can fill up those rooms is have those numbers. So,
Yep.
and this is the part where I was talking about, we don't want to become something that we don't want to be. So like, most musicians I know, they don't want to be content creators. But what
Nope.
happens Right? But what happens is they realize that just going online and going and playing music is not necessarily what people want to see. And people find themselves all of a sudden doing all kinds of silly skits and all kinds of stuff that's not who they are, it's not what they came to do, but they're doing all these things to try to get the numbers, to try to get the views so they can book the show, so they can be the musician.
Yeah, but then it's also like you don't also have to follow the norm of like, oh, well, this is a popular trend of what you're doing, because in all honesty, people like to connect with real people with the
Yeah.
internet age and all that. So just to seeing that you're a real person, like you could be doing fuck all and showing people that you're mixing and just like talking and having a chat, live chats, like what we're doing now. They like to see that interaction. This is what I've come to find out. And then that like the social media gives a very direct connection between artists and their, I don't like the word fans, I never did, people who enjoy their music, I guess that would be, but that's a lot longer to say, so I guess fans works.
Yeah, musicians getting money through live performances, and then the ticket sales, the merch sale, if you can work out with the venue, the
Mm-hmm.
bar sales, those are
Yep.
like, that's the bread and butter. But, you know,
Yep.
for instance, you can get a venue for 15 grand, set that whole thing up, all kinds of stuff, and work out something with them, and freaking, and then when you go to, you know, set up your performance, and you get like, you know, maybe 5 people who show up, you're not
Yeah.
paying
Well,
for that, and
then
that
you,
you're in the negative.
but then you
Well,
shouldn't be. Then
my
you shouldn't
point
be
is,
set. But you shouldn't be setting up a
right? So
$15,000 venue like if you
yeah,
don't have.
exactly. So
And that comes from playing
well,
live to know, like, okay, this is what I can do. This is what I can fill in a random place, in a
right.
random town, in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but here's the point. So you could go that route, or you could come at the venue with leverage of having millions of freaking followers, or however what your numbers are. But if they're impressive, you could show that you can talk to them with leverage. You could have a team, you could have a representative talk to that person and talk to those venues, get the venue for free because they know that's going to get
Yeah.
packed out. Get them on your side where
Yep.
they're now marketing with it because they know they're going to sell fucking insane amount of drinks that night.
Yep.
Ticket sales are going to be great. And so now you're working with the whole other thing, and you couldn't do that nowhere close if you don't have numbers behind you. So like, you know,
Yeah.
the you know, content is king to the max right now.
Yes.
But I feel
And
like
but like again,
in
like that's just and that's the
mhm,
climate of the music.
yeah.
That's the climate. That's like trying to be
Mhm,
like, well, like again, like I went the route of like reactors and reactions for my marketing and stuff like
mhm,
that. Instead of going like, well, I'm just gonna go dive bar to dive bar and do that because that really is not
right.
sustainable. Well, I mean, I know bands who did that, but that was before there's social media and how everyone takes
Mhm.
in entertainment.
Right. And so like, but here's the thing, I feel like with Web3, and how the money can be made from it is very similar to like the whole ticket sales thing. Instead of like trying to like just sell the MP3, you know, there's
Yeah.
other ways that Web3 can be utilized. For instance, you know,
Oh no, I
rewards.
wasn't saying anything. I wasn't saying anything like
Oh,
that.
of
I was
course,
just
no. I
saying
was just
like use. I was saying like the social like doing like on Spotify and stuff. Like I'm not looking to try to make money off of that. Like that's just
oh yeah, yeah. Right, right. Exactly.
like
So I feel
like
like, you know,
Web3.
going back to,
Yeah, go ahead.
sorry, you're breaking up.
Oh, I said go ahead.
Ada.
Oh, am I breaking
Ada.
up?
No, Ada, he was passing you the
Not
mic.
me.
He was passing you the mic.
Oh,
He
okay,
said,
yeah.
speak your piece, and he'll follow up.
Hey, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
No, I was just saying that you know, just giving that other aspect to where, because going back to the whole conversation of like, don't make it complicated to sell your MP3, and where it's like, yeah, you know, definitely agree with that. And so I feel like the real money being made from the Web3 experience with music, um, is going to be more so through the interaction with the artist, either on a live stream or at the live events, and that there's some kind of benefit through it that Web3 really, it does very well. And so, and on top of that, I feel like Web3 components, I feel will do the best where people don't even realize it's a Web3 component. It's
Mm.
just like something that they're doing and they're having fun with. And then, you know, they might find out later that, oh, that's like a Web3 thing, or maybe they never even know. And it's just a fun
Yeah.
thing that they feel like is a part of that experience of interacting with that artist. Like, yeah, I got this cool like points, and it works in this, and it does these extra things. And now I get a free hoodie because I have
Yeah.
this, because I've been to every, you know, and it's been, and I have it all on my thing, and it's linked through my email. But your email really actually is a way for you to have a wallet that's connected to my side, and so I can keep track of everything that you're doing, you know. I don't know, like
Yeah.
stuff like that I feel like is super
Oh,
fun.
and like I
um
like yeah, and that's like the part that
mhm,
I do get excited about with like Web3 and that like and all that.
mhm,
But it's like and then it's like trying to find that easy medium to connect between what everyone knows and to the new thing that's starting to come about to try to make
right.
it a norm. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. I just, one of the things that gets me though about some of the different platforms is like some of their terms of service. Like
Oof.
Spotify now, they have that new one was pretty hefty, and it just makes me kind of like, you know, very wary with where I place, because I really get that whole thing of like you got to be available everywhere so that people can easily access your music so they can find out who you are.
Yeah.
But I'm also
Yeah.
wary of like then what those platforms can do with that music and what
Oh
rights they
yeah.
have over my work. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
the one of the big things, almost like ancestry, you know, or the DNA things where it's like you might get your
Woo!
DNA tested and all that shit, but then those people own your DNA, you know?
They don't
Yep.
only oh, but they
It's like,
don't only own your DNA, they also have your home address
yeah,
and your email address. It's like
right, yeah.
profile.
So,
It's like genetic profiling. It made me so that
uh-huh.
like really it just really hurt me to my core when I saw that.
But
Hmm.
as Adder knows, I kind of live in a very different world than the norm. So,
Yeah.
like living on the
Well,
reservation is a lot different place than living pretty much anywhere else.
You make it sound like a retreat, Lions Den.
Yeah, it kind of is.
I want to come kick my feet up on the res.
Yeah.
it is the spot.
Yeah.
Oh
It's a
yeah.
good time.
I,
Yeah.
I love my time there. It's seriously amazing.
Yep. But like even like going like even like the surroundings may be similar, but it was just like the difference between X's house.
Say that again. You broke
Like
up a little bit.
sorry, I just got a can you hear me? This
Yes.
thing's okay, it's like I was saying to Ed, like just being at like where I'm at and where me and Ron are from, like to like the area surrounding like where Binks lives.
Yeah. Very different.
Yep, even though it might look the same, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
so for someone who hasn't seen, what are the differences that you speak of?
Here we're very it's a very communal type place. Like it's and that has its plus and minuses. Like as everything pros and cons. Where it's cool, but again, like everyone's in everyone else's business because it is such a tight knit community. You know, so that's one of the fallbacks. But again, like we don't lock doors around here. We don't really do any of that. We don't really like if like again with like our close friends and families, we don't really knock on doors. We'll just come in.
Yeah, I have a
It's
funny
it's
story.
Tell
go
us
ahead.
your funny
The,
story.
of course, yeah. So I was it was at night and I was trying to find my way to Ronnie's place and
Yep.
there's a couple, it's if you don't know, like you can get mixed up pretty easily.
Yep.
And so I
Because there's
got
no
mixed
street
up and we
lights.
thought we thought we were in the right spot. We came up only when we got like pretty close. Um this lady comes out and she's like, "Can I help you guys?" And we're like, "Oh fuck," on the res,
Yep.
no unannounced, just we're going to someone's house and they were
Yep.
like, but it was a really nice lady. She came and she, "Can we help you?" And it's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought we were like at Brooke's house," and she's like, "Oh, Brooke, yeah, I know him. He's over there. This and that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome." And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, and they were just like, yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
then somehow came up, we're like, go do music. And he's like, "Oh my gosh, it's amazing." And this and that. And we're just like, yeah, and we're like, oh, cool. It's just
Yep.
super tight knit. But it's like, yeah, like, yeah, I felt like it just had a great experience, but that was really cool. Yeah, very tight knit. I will attest with my experience there.
Yep. Yep.
The
But like I
Lions,
say,
But it
it's
was,
like go ahead.
Lions Den.
Well,
but I just felt
we're in
like,
a snowstorm right now, so if I start breaking in and out, that's what's going on. That's
oh,
what I just
true.
realized. Yeah.
Ah, what were you saying?
Let me see if I can show you.
Ooh. Oh. Oh. Is that snow?
Yep.
Oh
Sure
my
is.
god. Oh my
That's cool.
gosh. Wow. I can almost feel the crispy air.
Yep. Oh,
Ah,
that makes a little. That's all snow coming down.
Oh wow, that's beautiful. I love the
There's
snow.
the bush.
Yeah, there it is.
I had a
Now
lot
it's
of good
all
times next to that
otherized.
bush.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Lionsden, you say you have an album coming out or out?
Yeah, I had dropped. I released one. My first full length album had like 17 songs on it. I dropped it. It's called The South End
Where
Kid. On
where is it
iTunes
at?
everywhere. Like
Okay.
iTunes, you can get it everywhere. Spotify, wherever, all streaming platforms. It's called The South End Kid. It's got 17 tracks, and like the new stuff I'm working on, I'm pretty excited about. Everyone seems to be enjoying that one. Uh, but yeah, I mean, just as like with anything, I'm getting better at production, and I'm still very beginner when it comes to all this. I've only been at self production for probably like, I guess, coming up on like 2 years.
Let's go, bro.
Yeah.
I got distracted.
Fucking
I was
killing.
trying to hurry up and buy this album. I'm like South End Kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
On Apple Music, right?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, I
Hey
found it.
guys,
Yes.
Yep.
I gotta jump in like 5, but yeah, I just wanted to give you the heads up.
Okay.
All right.
Well, Ada, before you take off, why don't you give us your things not to miss from 2025 so everyone can catch up with you, you know?
Oh hell yeah!
You want to give
Don't
us
miss
your give us your
2025.
give us your big
Yeah,
outro since you yeah.
let's do it. 2025. Don't miss. Uh, that. Yeah, building an experience. And getting together a team for the AttaBotty experience, and yeah, very very excited about that. Have new artwork. Have a Genesis piece on Tezos. Last time I checked, there was only one left, so get it before they're gone. And then outside of that, look out for just the fact that I've been kind of gone. It's been on purpose. It's definitely been deliberate. And like I said, I've been doing monk mode, and that's because I've been building a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of cool things to come for 2026. And if you want a preview of any of that, like I said, my last 2 pieces in Miami Art Week for Art Basel and all that, those are kind of indications of the directions that I want to be going. So yeah, thanks so much for that space and being around you guys and everything. I just miss the energy so much.
Oh, AttaBotty, you are the best, man. It's so good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you and hear from you, bud.
Hey, same here to you, man. That's cool. I got the coolest text in the world. He was like, "Yo," I'm in the chat.
Yeah. And you're like, I'm in the live stream. I was like, no, I'm in your live stream chat.
The best, the best. It's so funny. He told me, but I didn't recognize the name at first because I always only think of everyone and their artist names. And so I was
Yeah.
like, yeah. So I was like, huh? And then he told me who he meant. And I was like, oh! Yeah, so good to see you. So do you have a show coming up?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to do a New Year's show. Well, I have like 2 that I'm still kind of deciding between. My friend wants me to do his party, and then a bar wants me to do their party. And I just had a Christmas party just last Saturday. That went really well. And in 2026, I'm getting ready. I'm gonna go perform in a couple places. Ron has some family up in Alaska. I'm gonna go perform during the Iditarod, the dog sled races.
Where in Alaska are you going?
I forget where it starts. You know the dog sled race, the big one.
Yeah.
That's what during that time. Yeah. And I was just talking. Mosaic came out the other day. Just seen him. He came out to my show Saturday. And but like yeah, I just dropped like my latest single. I should be happy. Everyone seems to be gravitating towards that, and it's. I was like, you guys would gravitate towards my sad song.
I love the title. The title is
Yep.
fire.
Yep. Well, it's about like fighting depression. Like it's just about trying to get through the day, like, and that's what it's basically about. It's for anyone who's battled or still is battling depression, just to know, like, yeah, we're not alone as you think you are, as we think we are, and that these feelings, like, damn, like, why am I not happy? Like, everything seems to be going in the right direction, yet it's still just, I'm still not finding. Well, if you listen to it, like, I just released that was my latest release, and everyone seems to be really enjoying that one. GodCloud even was like, yeah,
I want to hear
this
that
is the
one.
one. Yeah, all right. Well, hold on one second. Let me grab this in the link, and I'll send it to you so you guys can enjoy it. Let me see. Share that. Copy link. Okay. Let me see. See it here, private chat. That's what I want to do.
Oh,
All right,
yes.
I sent you a link. It's a YouTube link. It's a lyric video. But this is the one that everyone seems to be gravitating towards.
Yes. Got it.
So I'm excited about that. And then I got some more stuff coming out. We'll talk to Mose about heading back down to Austin for South by. I'm in talks with performing at Lightning in a Bottle out in Cali.
Yes. How is that going?
Yep.
That would be amazing.
Well, that's what we're doing now. One of my buddies who's in like one of the I met him through like the reactor communities, and there's this one guy. His name is Stay on Beat. He does a huge thing for like independent artists, like to like showcase your music, and he's really big into that. And he's even starting like his own, like, it's like I guess a social media site. His name's Rudy, but it's like Stay on Beat. Like if you find him on Instagram or I think he's on TikTok. It's just Stay on Beat, and
Yeah.
he's working on this website called Tunebull, like TUNEBULL, that he's starting, and it's kind of like a social media, but it's just for like independent artists.
That's dope.
Dude,
So
that's awesome, man.
Yeah. So that's real. But I met someone through there who is out there. He wants to get me into Lightning in a Bottle this year.
Get it.
Or next year. Yeah, so those are the ones we're looking for. And then I got to reorganize this tour now that my uncle's settled in his rehab facility. So and
That's great.
that's where I'm planning. Yeah, so that's what we're planning to do now that I got that out of the way. Because that's what happened with my last tour. Like, he got really sick, had a stroke, so like I put everything on hold, and then so now I'm like, all right, now it's settled, so now I can focus on this, and that's what we're looking to do, and start heading out on the road and playing live shows.
Where the money is.
Bada bing.
Yep. Yep. And like, again, like I'm not looking to be famous, like anything like that. But if I could make a decent living, like doing what I love, like that's more than I ever expected for out of life.
Dude, well, hell yeah, man.
Your music sounds and feels so good. So I feel like, if we can earn a living and then some. How about I should say it like this. If we can just keep on living our dreams, that's what we want, because
like I said, comfortable. Like I don't have to worry.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about, like, that's what I mean by comfortable living. Like I don't need to be having excess money, but like where I don't have to worry about bills or stuff like that. And I'm able to do stuff that I want to do without being like, oh, can I afford to do this and stuff like that. And that's what I mean by comfortable living. Like, I'm not talking about being rich or anything like that, but and that's the dream.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, I love it. I freaking love you guys. I do gotta jump. I just wanted to just say my byes, and dude, hell yeah, man. Freaking fist pump and a hug from 1.5 thousand miles away, bro.
It's only like 17 hours.
Hey.
Adam,
love
so
you guys.
Good to see you. Love you much.
All right, love you too.
I'll be in touch. Peace.
Okay.
All right, then. Peace, Adam.
Yeah. Oh, so good to see you. So good to see you
Mhm.
as well. Wow.
Yeah.
So what are you looking at for your tour? Where you want to go? Have you got some ideas
We're looking
already?
at, well, yeah, we're probably going to do the East Coast and then down. I have some people out in like Dallas, speaking of Texas, like Austin, but Dallas, I have some people who want to put me on some shows there, and then work my way out to Cali and up west to like, and then also be hitting like the middle states where like, and then do like reservations near reservations and stuff like that. Because again, a lot of natives are connecting with the music, so that's kind of the direction we're looking at right now.
That's dope.
Hmm.
Amazing. So I'm curious, do you know who your fans are just based on like your live shows or?
Yeah, no, they're all over. Like it's crazy. Like it's more social media than anything.
Okay.
And again, like I don't do much with social media. I just post like I've been told I have to do more like personal stuff, and I get it. I get it because people that's what, like, again, like I was saying before, that's the climate. That's the music industry climate that we're at right now. It's either you got
Yeah.
to be backed by a label, or if you're going to try to do it yourself, like, and why, like, and I actually like it better, like that you actually can have like make like actual real connections with people, not just like, oh, I seen you anytime I come into town, like I seen you twice. You can have interactions weekly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I got some similar feedback, which is like people want to see you, not necessarily
Hmm.
always talking about your music.
Hmm. And
Yeah.
again, I'm not talking about doing skits or anything like that, or just like
Yeah. That's rough.
even just having like these live, like, like these live chats, like, because I might be doing some more, like, I want to start doing some of these like live stream chats where people can come talk, ask questions, and all that stuff.
Do you ever do I live on a reservation, ask me anything?
No, 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 I don't do none of that.
That
Uh,
might be interesting. Like I'm a I'm a
well,
self.
that's what someone also said to me too. They're like,
Oh,
well, you could do that, just like your life on the res, because that's a very, and I know that people do find it interesting, and it is kind of interesting when you're,
it's very
when
special
you,
too.
yep,
Like
and especially the
you you're living the real dream.
mhm. But like, again, it's got its cons and its pros and cons, just like any place else. It's not like it's like this utopia type place.
You don't lock your
So
doors. That sounds closer to utopia than my neighborhood.
yeah, but there's a lot of people struggling, just so, and that's the double-sided sword that it comes from it, because there's not too much opportunity for people,
Mm.
you know, and it is just what it is.
Hmm. Do you feel like do you feel like because I haven't heard this new album yet. But is this new album speaking to that what you just said about opportunities, or what is
No,
the
like my
thread
my
of this
my
new
music
album?
has always been like, I want to, like, because what music did for me when I was younger was like the songs that got me through hard times, or the songs that I would listen to when that's all I had was music, whatever a situation would be, and there'd be songs that I'd listen to and be like, it would take me, so a lot of my music is just uplifting, as you know, like, it's a very positive, because there's so much negativity in this world, like, I try to do my best to put a counterbalance to that. And then with hopes that, maybe my music might do what someone else's music has done for me.
Mm,
And that's what I kind of look for. And it's also like with music in itself, that's my therapy, it's a positive outlet for me to deal with my stuff.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting. You reminded me. There was a music got me through some difficult times too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um,
Yep.
Do you remember what was that album, the first album where you feel like it really helped you get through some period? Do you remember what it was?
It was actually like when it first came out. It was a It was a Sublime self-titled album. It was like Santeria, What I Got, and that, and all that.
Mm.
And that came out when I was like 10, I think, and they've been my favorite band ever since then.
Mm.
Yep.
I had an album like that, and it wasn't new when I got it. I was a kid,
Yeah.
and I had an allowance. So when I was a kid, my allowance wasn't really enough to go buy a new record, just period, anyway.
Yep. Yeah.
But what I used to love to do with my allowance is I would like to go to estate sales, and I would get, I could get a lot of stuff from an estate sale, but then a store,
Yeah.
and especially because there would be like music and albums and stuff like that. And
Well,
I didn't
what's an
have any
estate sale?
It's a garage sale, but it's an estate, so it's not just like
Oh, so it's like a rich garage sale.
basically,
All right.
yeah. But whereas a garage sale, I think
It's
I
like the
think
people are still living there. It's like that.
yeah, but
someone
an
has,
estate
like,
sale
not
is
paid.
like everything. Estate sale, they're selling their
Yeah.
sheets, they're selling their silverware, they're selling everything.
Yeah, like someone didn't, or someone may pass, and like now their
Yes.
house is just getting sold, and everything is just going.
Yeah, and so to me, that's why I say an estate sale, because that's where you really find like gems, because it's like someone's entire collections of something. It's not just stuff that they didn't want anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went to this estate sale, and there was like probably 4 or 6 or more tables of nothing but music. It was albums, cassettes, there was even like formats I had never seen before. But my takeaway was I came home with some cassettes of NWA.
Nice. Well, I was always thinking. This got brought up the other day, like where my attraction to like reggae came from. And I always used to think it was a Sublime album, but then I was like thinking, I was like, well, I remember like when I was in like elementary school, I used to have an Ace of Base cassette tape that I listened to. Like I Saw the Sign and stuff, and going back and listening to that, I was like, those are reggae beats behind it.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Yep.
Of course it is.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible.
Yep. So like that's what I was sitting like. I was like, so I've always been gravitated towards that type of music. And like with my new song, like what I also like about reggae, as you'll see with the song I just sent you, I Should Be Happy, is you can have it's you're able to talk about tough and hard subject matter, but if you put a happy beat behind it, it doesn't have such the weight. It's not like the heavy, but it's not like with the song about depression, like it was never meant to be a somber song. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do, because it wouldn't be uplifting.
Yep. And that's one thing that I've always liked about reggae. And like one of the big like examples I like to use is like Sublime's Wrong Way. Like if you listen to the actual lyrics in that story, it's a very sad and depressing story that's behind that song. But you never take that away because you're listening to the beat, the ska beat, the horns and everything, and you're just like, oh yeah, the melody and the cadence, and you're like, oh, this is a fun song.
What was it really about?
Well, like right at the beginning, it's about a girl who was abused by her dad, her brothers, and then she became a prostitute at the age of 12. And yeah, it's a dark song.
People in there fucking jamming and shit. Yeah,
and it wasn't until like I started like playing music and like start like doing covers and stuff that when I was like, damn, this is kind of a dark ass song.
Yeah, that's a trip. That reminds me of.
Yep.
When we were in, I guess we were in Breckenridge after East Denver last year, and we went to go see this amazing folk band play. And they sang this traditional Irish song. It's the song of two sisters. and it just really is like so heartbreaking.
Yep.
And I
And
know the song is like symbolic, so I'm like, if the symbolic version of the song is really heartbreaking, the actual story must be just really
yep.
sad.
Yeah, but like even with Wrong Way, like it's not really hard to like. It's just that you don't really pay attention to the lyrics, because you're more focused on like it's a happy kind of go lucky, and then when it's like the lyrics are pretty straightforward, like you're like, oh shit, like this is pretty fucking this is a pretty wild song.
Yeah. Well, I'm so
Mm-hmm.
looking forward to listening to it. So
Well, do
this
you
is the
still
one
have
that
the
you.
same number?
Yes.
Okay, then I'll shoot you a text. Or shoot me a text after you listen to it and let me know.
Okay, I will. I will.
Because it's
Yeah, I
starting to
wonder
get
what.
bad. I'm gonna go check. Because I'm gonna go check on my gram, make sure she's all good. So that's what I'm getting
Okay.
ready to do. Since the weather's getting bad.
Oh my gosh, my friend, I'm so glad to see you. I'm sending you hugs and so much
Yep.
love. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to
Same.
seeing
That's
you.
what it.
I'm looking forward to sharing this. I'm going to be rehearsing my song, so I'll be looking for places to play. So
All
hopefully we
right
can
then. Well,
sing
when I
together.
start making my way your way, I'll start. Well, when I get my tour dates down, I'll send you.
Yes,
I'll send you the dates and all that and all the venues and stuff.
I'd love that. I'd love that. You're the
Well,
best. It's so good to see you.
thank you for having me on. It's always I'm so grateful. It's such an honor to just be at just like when Ada sent me link, I was like, oh cool.
Oh
So I was
yeah.
like, I
Well,
haven't talked. Yeah.
now that I know, I'll invite you. I'll invite you, and just you're always invited. You're always invited. But I'll always send you the link from
Yep.
now on, and hop on anytime you want because we want to see you.
Yep. All right. Well,
Yeah.
again, thanks for having me on, and I'll keep in touch. And just like I said, do you still have my number? Or do you want me to send you a
Yep.
text?
You can send me
All
a
right
text,
then.
but I got
Yeah.
your number. You know I'm not going to lose that number. Your
All
number.
right. All right then.
Hey,
All right.
give Tizzle
So
my
just
regards. Won't you give Tizzle a swizzle for me?
I definitely will, and he'll send one
Okay.
right back.
Okay. Love you guys.
All right, love you too. All right, bye.
See ya.
I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Oh my gosh, what an amazing session, huh? Were you surprised? Hey everyone, I know that my camera is going back and forth. I have tried to adjust it several times and I'm really not sure why it's happening. So um, I apologize for that. It's definitely not intentional. Yeah, that's super annoying. Sorry guys. Anyway, it's all about the face today. So thank you so much for joining me. I want to thank you for popping in. You're going to see me later today because I'm going to come back and do a live stream. But before I do, let me just catch you up on all the things. So I have some new music out and I'm very excited to share it with you. It's NFT music, which means it's not just an MP3. These are music experiences that you have online. It definitely warrants a session of its own with my camera acting properly. So you're going to see me back in a little while here, but first and foremost, I want to thank you for joining me, GodCloud, AttaBotty, and Lion's Den. We are all musicians on blockchain. That means that you can buy our music on chain. You can also find it in some of the regular places, like, for example, Lion's Den just shared that his album is on Spotify. And in case you didn't catch it, let me just share with you the name of his album. See, I just got it here. It is The South End Kid. The South End Kid. That's South End, one word. And that's Lion's Den, LYONSDEN. Rez, REZ, Music, MUZIK. The album is called The South End Kid. It starts off with a song called Plant Them Seeds. And yeah, it's got 17 tracks. You don't want to miss this. Something very special. So don't miss it. And also, definitely check out the work of AttaBotty. Back and editing on this description, I will put some convenient links to all of our works there below so you can catch up with us. But in the meantime, I want to wish you the happiest Friday. And I hope you have an amazing rest of the year. You'll see me again. But for now, let me say farewell.